Hello, hello. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. So today will probably be the last day of streaming for a little while. I'll probably do 2 streams today, but I gotta take a break. I've been doing a lot. I have not, well, I've been doing a lot for work stuff, and then I've been doing like the bare minimum for life stuff, and I gotta catch up on life stuff. So it's not really gonna be a vacation or anything. I still need to do kind of personal to do tasks, and I expect it'll be a few days maybe. Hey, Alex. Good morning. And good to hear you're going to take a break. Yeah. I think it's needed. And then I think the other thing we need to do, I don't know, but whatever. Well, let's just let's just one day at a time. So Adam is going to work on bug fixes and some game design today. Today will probably be the last day of streams for a little while so that he can take a break and catch up on real life stuff. Perionox, thanks for the sub. I have never seen you type anything in chat. Welcome. I would approve more if I didn't also have a vacation now and more time for stream watching. All right, let's hold off for a week then. Let's accommodate Galaxy Inferno. You know, I've found that the timing of these things for myself is never great. Like, let's say I had a vacation in like 6 weeks. For whatever reason, at some point in the 3 weeks leading up to it, I would feel like I got to take a vacation now, though. And I take like a day or two. It's like I got to make it past the finish line. You know, if I got up from my computer for just a moment, I'd miss first. And you did. To be fair, I started a little bit later than normal. Yeah, normally it's about 15 minutes ago. But my advertised start time is 9, so I never really try to stick to it too closely. It's never ideal, but very important to take some time off. Yeah, yeah. And there are lots of little things that have just been accumulating that aren't super important, but that I should probably do at some point. Anyway, today we've got to fix some bugs. And the most important bug I need to fix is something with graphical tearing. And I wrote something somewhere about this. How do I find this? Open in Finder. Copy as path name. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch to this. And we're going to try to find something like tearing. No. What words would I use to describe this? Maybe graphical problem? Margin, maybe? If the borders are stretching, it means you didn't set the margins correctly. Where's that? Godot UI? The issue that I'm having here is that I'm not seeing this problem happen, but Plum Yeti made a video and it is very apparent. Maybe I should just look through the screenshots. Maybe the way of doing this is not the smartest. And I should just look through these because I would have taken a picture, maybe. Are any of these, some of these pictures are kind of funny. Are any of these pictures indicative of the problem? No. No, that's a different graphical glitch caused by not having pixel snapping. Man, I don't know how we're going to find this. It was like this shredding. Oops. All right, well, there's one other thing. What's this? QL Markdown. Don't allow. I don't want this. There's one other way I could potentially find this. Maybe I'd search for tearing in here. Or like follow-up work for farming and fishing. I don't think it was this. God, how do you find this glitch? If I search here for margin, no. I remember people hit this issue months ago. And I just want to figure out what I did to try to solve it then. I guess first let's start by getting this from the video. So let me go to YouTube. Let me figure out what account I'm even on. I just wanted to be muted. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So if I click this, this was Plum Yeti's video, and you can see a very obvious problem here. So I got to take a picture of that. Hey, Wendy, how's it going? Thank you very much for the raid. Hey, Kevin. And hey, Tobor, long time no see. How's your stuff going? If you've been watching me, which I only just started like 6 minutes ago, and you haven't followed Wendy, you should follow Wendy. And Tobor, you stream too, right? I don't remember what your schedule is, but I've definitely seen you online before. Tobor as well. Welcome in, everyone. Today is probably the last day for a little while that I'm going to be streaming for. I've got my today command here, which is that I just need to catch up on some stuff. In general, I would say Skeleseller is going well. Challenge mode is still rough around the edges. And I have some ideas, but they'll take time. And I've just been working and working and working. No, let us not. All right, I'm curious. Let's see. Tobor Prime. When was the last stream? Oh, wow. Okay. That was apparently a long time ago. Oh, 2023, I guess? Huh. Yeah, 2023. Yeah, interesting. Or, oh, I see. I guess March. Yeah. Wow. All right, it has been a long time. Okay, so I gotta get this. Hey, Monetic Bind. Happy Friday. You know, Monetic Bind, we met up in person a little while ago, and he said something like, oh yeah, I only ever drop by on like Mondays and Fridays. I never realized the pattern until he said that. I forgot it was exactly those days. So yeah, Monetic Bind is the Friday indicator now. What was that analytics page thing? That's Selenium. So you can type in the name of a channel and you'll get whatever stats and metrics they have. I'll link this in chat. It's pretty useful if you're ever trying to find influencers, because that way you can look at their average viewership and be like, what should I expect this person to respond or not? And if their average viewership is lower than like 50, you can probably expect them to respond. If it's above 500, you can probably not expect them to respond. And somewhere in the middle is kind of a toss up. Yeah. Okay, so I want to put this in here somewhere, and we'll put this in the troubleshooting section. Yeah, I don't have anything else here. Okay. So we'll put this here, graphical tearing / glitching. Whoops, that's not the right thing. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, well, if Kevin's not mistaken, this is caused by the wrong margin, which is something set through the theme. Hey, Maniac. Paper stack theme. By the way, Wendy, how did everything go today? You feeling good about this week? All right, so we should find a panel container, which should have a style. Here it is. It's empty. Why is it empty? What's this? What is this thing? Oh, a tab container? Tab container. Okay, there we go. So panel, here it is. All right, so I'm guessing the margins here are wrong. They are. Wow. Okay. Well, then that'll probably fix this. It's going well. Things are going pretty well here. We've been working on challenge mode, and I think there are some things we can do to improve it. And I think, just to kind of spoiler alert, I think what we'll talk about today is going to be some meta progression stuff. I want to re-examine this and just kind of see. I realized something a little while ago, and it's that Vampire Survivors is our North Star, which is very weird to say. But Vampire Survivors was an incredibly popular game. Granted, it's in a different genre, although it's actually similar-ish. So the whole point of the game, in my opinion, is get to a broken build. So that you're killing everything on the screen, you're getting tons and tons of items and money and whatever else. In a nutshell, it's that. If you were to list this out in a design document, you'd say the objective is to wait out the timer and stay alive. Hence the survivors in here. And the timer is just that if it's survive as an objective, then you need to have a time limit. Otherwise, you'd have to survive for literally ever. So yeah, it's all about just killing stuff. That's it. And the reason I think this is our North Star is because The game itself is like every run is about surviving, and it's mostly like offensive means of surviving. So like kill enemies before they kill you. And if you were to write a design document for like how do we make this kind of game fun, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that it's fun on paper. And I think it's kind of the same thing with Skeleseller to some extent. So I want to figure out, by the way, Vampire Survivors also has some meta progression. You unlock things over the course of doing different runs, and they're different characters and different everything else. But they're really just different starting points into the game. And that's it. And the game was successful. So I don't think we need to look super far to try to figure out what do we need to do for Skeleseller in challenge mode. I think it can be what it is, and we just push you farther along this path. And I got to write down something I just said. Yeah, here. So characters and the meta progression in this game were just use the existing stats and items. So it probably wasn't even that hard to make. I'm not trying to be dismissive with this, but it's going to be important for when we come up with our own timeline. Good week over here. Lots of progress. I was mostly doing art stuff in a while. Yeah, nice. I'm very impressed at how quickly you can make a game look like a game because I don't have art skills. So I could potentially make mechanics, and even then, it's not really quickly. I'm not doing stuff quickly, but yeah, I can't do the art myself. You know, it reminds me of those burger restaurant mobile browser games. You have to complete orders super fast. Same addiction strain for me. Yeah, yeah. And you know, one of the things I should probably just copy paste your message and think about that later. Because I do want to do this game design stuff, but I want to, yeah, ponder this for a bit. And the specific thing that hit me as soon as Galaxy Inferno said this is, with these games, the game designers know the limits, and for mobile versions, they want you thrashing against that. It's fun to feel like you've overcome it somehow. We can maybe capture that feeling for Skeleseller. Take care, Wendy. I hope you have a good weekend. Thanks again for the raid. Vegan vampire? Hi, Liquid. Voltaire vegan vampire. Is this one of those like... No, wait, what's the relevance of this, Liquid? I don't think I understand. All right, so anyway, this tearing. So this, I believe this is caused by having the wrong margins for a style box. Oh, maybe I didn't look at it fast enough then. Style box texture. And I'm nearly positive they know about this. Style box texture margin tearing. Something like this. It's going to be... Why is this so hard to find? Margins not working as expected. 9 patch editor. Margins are smaller than texture margin. I think it means the other way around. No, maybe it doesn't mean the other way around. When margins are bigger, though, then there's a problem, I'm pretty sure. Hey, Shock. Stuff do be happening, breaks are okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, look, here's where my real guilt is coming from. I said I wanted to target Q4 of this year for launch, and I don't think it's possible. But I don't think it's possible whether I take a few days off or not. Now, if for whatever reason I said I want to target Q4 and I'm like, I just need like 2 days of vacation, yeah, maybe I'd barrel through it. But I think it's going to be more like, hopefully Q1. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Texture doesn't obey this. Yeah, I don't see the issue. I'm nearly positive it's known. I just can't find it. It doesn't happen on every graphics card. And I should probably put my example here. So what do we have in total? If I just take a picture of this, we have 217 plus 186, and then 144 plus 222. And what's our size of the graphic? I can't see this unless I expand this. 402 by 429. 402 by 429. Okay, so by having margins larger than your texture in a texture style box. For example, the stack of papers image above, which is tearing, has a size of this, but margins of, and it's worthwhile to write all these out in the proper way so that it's clear in the future what these are about. So margins of this, oh, whoops, I shouldn't do that. Left 217, top 144, right 186, bottom 222. Oh, the equal signs don't work? What are equal signs and markdowns? Highlight? I didn't even know about that. Really? This is a test. Oh, wow, that's super confusing because isn't there a way to highlight? Maybe not. Okay. Well, anyway, we could just write these things like this. Okay, so as you can see, left plus right is greater than the width. So I believe that's so just need to lower the margins to fix this. What is the other thing I need to write? Oh yeah, this will not necessarily repro on every platform or graphics card, which can make it very hard to find. Took work off the week. You haven't announced yet. I took work off for the whole quarter. I quit my job. All work, no play ain't fun. But yeah, haven't caught up on stuff. Yeah, I've been enjoying the work side of things. I just feel like I could even probably just keep streaming for another week or two or three. But I feel like I'm not catching up on the life stuff. And I just mentioned this. My wife was on vacation for the last week. So I had the place to myself and I just like decompressed a lot. I'm not saying that my wife is stressful. It's just we have a lot of plans in our normal lives. And for once I kind of just didn't have plans for a bit. And I think it helped. I really think it helped. Everyone always expresses surprise when I tell them this in real life, but I am very introverted. Like I I very much recharge by being alone or by being with my wife or something. I think that's pretty much the same as being alone in terms of recharging. So you're familiar with callouts? Yeah. Callouts I use. But I don't use them very often because I think that sometimes it's easy to ignore a call out even though it's supposed to do the exact opposite. I don't have any I apparently don't have any in this note. Yeah. Wife and I like to be alone together. Yeah. Yeah. And I have this weird feeling, hey Leap Your Girl and hey Dead Robot. I have this weird feeling that I don't know how to explain, but like I want to be around people sometimes and not interact with them at all. And I don't know if it's like I want to be around friends or I want to be around strangers. I don't know how common that is. Hey Tim, I thought you recharged in a dock. Plugging a USB-C into my ear. Oh Tim, hey, thanks for the raid. Yeah, good of you to drop by. Hey Joss, take Campbell soup. It's like a coffee shop environment. I guess so. Yeah, I feel that gigs are kind of like that for me. What kind of gigs do you mean? That's why you go to the gym? Yeah. Pretty common in an office or coffee shop. Yeah. Yeah, so and I think that's pretty much what body doubling is. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. By the way, Tim, how'd the stream go? You're gonna be starting your motorcycle trip soon, right? Oh, music gigs, pop, punk, surrounded by people, can't really interact. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Wonder how much of a modern problem this is. Like introversion has probably always existed, right? I don't think it's been brought about by technology or something. Finished a trailer for my 100-day game kickoff party. Nice, 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 nice. And the kickoff party is October 2nd. Is that right? I'd like to see if I can drop by for that. Let me write it in my calendar. Let me make sure I confirm with you first. October 1st. Okay. I'm 1 day late. Can you do the party again? Tim's kickoff party is October 1st for the 100-day game. Yeah. So if anyone in the stream right now is looking for a project that's pretty followable because it's not going to take forever, ideally not going to take forever, Tim's planning a 100-day game starting on October 1st. And it's not 100 calendar days. He already explained. It's 100 stream days. So probably ending sometime around February or maybe March. That's, I guess, the estimate right now. So yeah, as far as games go, a game fitting into like 4 to 5 months of calendar time is pretty crazy. And a lot of people do game jams, and those fit into 2 days, and it's not very surprising, but they're also not complete games. Okay, yeah. So my issue that I was saying is that what does this button do? Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could do that. Whoa, cool. I did not know you could do this. I don't know what that's useful for, but neat. My issue is that I can't repro this problem. So I have to hope that I fix it by changing these numbers. And if it does fix it, and by the way, changing this should be very easy because if I lower this to a very small number, it should be fine up until we start trimming off this corner. So if I just keep holding down, we'll eventually see this look weird. Oh no, it's looking weird at the bottom, not the corner. Wait, no, it's not even looking weird there. What? Do I need, what is going on right now? Here it looks messed up, but here it looks fine. Huh, what if I lower this too? I am confused, to say the least. Tile fit? I don't think that should be right. Shouldn't this be stretch? Why am I not seeing a change though? Okay, I'm very perplexed by this. This is a panel for a tab container. Oh, I'm not looking at a tab container. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So now we see this is like super messed up because I was just modifying it and I didn't realize what I was changing. So the stretch is for, I guess let's just set this back to what it used to be. And that way I'm not doing stupid things here. So if I hit save, then I can actually revert it through here. Atypical? Sure. What's your question? All right, so if I lower this, we should notice no difference whatsoever, right? Yeah. But then if I get it to a low enough value, we will notice a difference. And where is that low enough value? No, it doesn't happen at all here. I am so confused. I am so utterly confused. It's like this did nothing. Oh, probably because it didn't reload? Aha, it didn't reload. So now I should see a change. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now everything's working the way I expected. So we just need to pick the number that makes this look good, which is something like that. I guess this is why we can't have stretch here and why we needed to have this be tile fit. No, but stretch actually looks pretty good. Yeah, no, that's fine. In fact, didn't I change it somewhere else? You looked at lives that yeah. Working hard on DSA, but I can't tackle new problems. It just goes above my small brain's capacity. I think what I would say is break things down as much as possible. So you say new problems. I don't know to what extent you're experiencing this, but let's say you're having trouble with like graph problems. Just focus on, or let's say you're struggling with graph and I don't know, some other thing like tree problems. Rather than like, oh, I'm going to try a graph problem. Now I'm going to try a tree problem. Now I'm going to try something else. And then realize that, oh, I didn't learn any of those things. Like just tackle graph problems and just start with some basic graph problems. And even there, like dive into the solutions, ask other people for help. Like really break it down as much as you can so that you start to identify patterns in your mind of, okay, when I've gotten graph problems in the past, here's how you traverse them, here's how you search them, here's how you sort them, here's how you, whatever else you might need to do. And then you get a new problem and you're like, oh, I've done all the building blocks now, so I can now do this new task. So yeah, try just breaking these down as much as you can. And then the other thing too, this might be an indication that it's actually not a problem and you're studying at all. You just need a break. And that is very possible. A lot of data structure and algorithm grinding is grinding. It's like 2 months of just, hey, I'm going to spend 3 hours a day doing this thing. So yeah, take some time off. Your brain might be overworked. Also, even within sessions, this is another thing they say that unless you do like specific brain training, your brain can handle about 25 minutes of focus. And then you even need just a 5-minute break. And this is why the Pomodoro method works pretty well for people because it's just built in. So maybe your sessions are also too long. Maybe you should be taking more of a break. But beyond that, it's hard for me to say. It's entirely possible you're just tackling difficult problems and they're hard and it's gonna be hard. There's just, yeah, some knowledge is difficult to learn. All right, so we could lower this one too. I'm nearly, ooh, that's modifying that thing. Oh, maybe we can't lower that one then. We just need these to not add up to a number that's too large. What if I set this to stretch? I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so what are these numbers? 178 plus 186 is 364. And this is how big? 402. Okay, so that should fix it. It should fix it. We're going to check that in and cross our fingers, I guess. Fix graphical tearing. Oh, I should do this in another branch, huh? Get heck out. All right, fix graphical tearing. The margins on the paper stack themes tab container. Wait, no. In the screenshot, this is happening. This is happening on the new challenge run thing. So that's got to be a problem in addition to this then, right? New challenge run has a panel container, which has a theme paper panel. So the theme is determined somewhere else. Theme is here. So paper panel is this. And this has the wrong margins. Ah, it does. Ah. Hey, Smurf. Hey, Jason. Okay, well, we need to change this, but we need to change it to exactly the same values that change these two. In fact, I'm not totally sure why there are two different ones of these, if they're going to use the same panel. Huh, I don't know. But yeah, where did the numbers go? Here. So left changes to 178. This is something that drives me nuts about Godot. For whatever reason, you can't shrink this middle panel low enough. So I can't expand this size unless I first expand the whole editor, and now I can make this larger. Well, even then I can't. I need to make it like even larger. Yeah, now I can finally do this. Like, why does the editor have to be that big for me to be able to expand that one panel? All right, so all I did is change the left, and then I need to change the stretch to be stretch for both of these. And that should fix both of this. This as if there is only one thing. I actually, the only other real problem I think I have with the editor is UID files and just how often they change, especially when working in a team. But yeah, most other things I think are pretty reasonable. There are bugs, of course, here and there. I don't know if that was a bug, though. It seems like it's just a design problem. I wonder if we have this number somewhere else in the code base, because if so, it would indicate that there's a problem there too. Paper stack theme. What is this? Style box texture. Where is this located? Tab bar background. Is the background tearing? Tab bar background. I don't even know where that is. Tab container has it. Tab container. Here it is. Oh, interesting. So we probably need to change these two then, huh? There's a subregion and everything here. Okay, this is kind of nuts. I guess we change that too to 178. So that would be this. And if I did set this to some number that doesn't make any sense, let's set it to 0. We should see some obvious problem. Yeah. So I think we can be reasonably confident that this is working now. Choose your battles, and your choice is perhaps wiser than mine. I like using an existing engine because I'll get benefits by not doing anything. So like eventually Godot will just have a new version and a new version and a new version. And if they add some cool thing, I'll get to use it. And because it's open source, you always could modify things yourself. I'm not going to be doing that, but caused we're too big. I'd love for there to be a way to test this. Like you can easily tell with static analysis that this is going to be a problem, but I can't see the problem. Like this issue that I have in my notes right here, this is incredibly, it's you can't ignore this. You're like seeing through the dialogue and it looks terrible. If I could see this, then I could know for sure that I fixed it. But I can't see it. Anyway, that's done. So graphical glitch. All right, chaos mode, everything's messed up. I already fixed that. Show rewards in challenge mode by default on the map to help people figure out where quests can be done. Yeah, that is rewards. There's a rewards container somewhere. I gotta figure out where that shows up. I guess let's just run this. I'm going to spend as much time as we can fixing some of these issues. And then I think the afternoon will be mostly about game dev, or game design, excuse me. So what was I going to do? I was going to look at the map. Yeah, so this says beat wants to reveal rewards. Where does that come from? Beat wants to reveal rewards. All right, so unlocked instance IDs. If it contains it, then do this. If it's been beaten, then do this. Interesting. Otherwise, it says do some other thing. Okay, or we could do, or if we have the town here, we do in map marker. No, it's private. All right, let's just make it protected. Protected town, get private set. Hey, does anyone here know the whole Earthbound OST? I have a question of what a certain track is, but I don't know how else to find it other than to like play it. Take my prime rib. Thank you, Broken Crown. Happy 13 months. Except for I don't even have FL Studio open, so never mind. I can't. I have to hum it. I don't want to hum. I'm not confident in my humming ability right now. All right, so now we have the town. So now we can do this. Or town dot gameplay mode dot is challenge mode. Okay, that's it. It should be as simple as this. What this is going to do is it's going to make it so that rewards show up by default, which really only impacts first-time players. But this is the kind of thing I didn't have any insight into. Like, I just take it for granted because I know what drops at all of these locations. But if you're a new player, you might be like, oh, there's a new quest. Like, where do I find boots? And oh, well, I guess it's not going to show this. Okay, then I guess we need to change that. Found in. This checks to see, select the ones that are, yeah, beaten instance IDs contains this. Or I guess that you're in challenge mode. So we should make a single function for this. This is battle map marker. Do we have, what is this? Is this in map marker? No, it's not map marker at all. Instance map? Instance map. Instance map. That's a nightmare I'd have. It's just I think this Skeller rap was cringy enough. Like I clearly can't sing, so I'd like to not add to that. Okay, so beaten inside these contains or this. So we're gonna put this somewhere. What does this represent? Whether we can show the rewards? Yeah, nice. Okay, should be easy. So public bool can't or like should show rewards instance ID. Nice. Okay, so now we need to replace all the times when we needed this. So this goes like that. And then same thing over here. Instance map dot should show rewards. Cool. So now let's look for beaten instance IDs and see if there's any other place where we use this to do what I just changed. So far, no. Still no. That's fine. That's what we changed. That's fine. That's okay. It's technically fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's everything. All right, let's try that. Yeah, the Earthbound soundtrack is like 3 hours long, and I have something going through my head that I'm nearly positive is from that soundtrack, but I don't know what the track is. And I would have heard it through Smash. Actually, maybe that's the way to find it then, because I only played a very little bit of Earthbound, so I should probably look at like which tracks from Earthbound showed up in Smash. Okay, so we go look at the battle map again. Hover over all these things, it looks good. Hover over this, it should look good. Yep, forest and volcano, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, this is not supposed to be part of the challenge, is memorizing where loot drops. And if we ever randomize this, this is going to help you out a lot more too. Cool. So this is something nobody asked for, but that I think will help. We don't need extensions here. That looks good. That looks good. And this is just replacing town with a protected property. Yeah. All right, let me look at this in combination now. So should show rewards. Yeah. Should probably just put a comment on that. What file is that? Instance map. If you've beaten, I guess in regular mode, you need to have beaten an instance for it to show its rewards. In challenge mode, it's not fun to have to memorize where loot drops, so we show it by default. Okay. Always show, oh, I should probably test in regular mode and make sure I didn't break that there. I don't even have a new location. Yeah, beat once to reveal rewards. Okay, so we beat this. Let's go try it. Cool. Now it shows the rewards. Yep. Nice. Okay. Yeah, looking good. Always show instance rewards in challenge mode. All right, so that's done. Hovering over guild supplies should show your current bonus rather than having to hover over power and life. Yeah, so this is here. As soon as you unlock the treasure room, this UI will change. So right now we only have health, power, fortitude, skill points. But if I unlock this, now we see guild supplies. The problem with this is that it only tells you what the next level is going to give you, not what you already have. And you have to hover over power and health to see how much you already got. So if I grant some random chests here and I put one of these into the guild, now it says you get 1 bonus here and 5 bonus here. But you'd like to be able to hover over this for that. So anyway, note you can find sign for treasure chest. Here it is. Update quantity label. Oh, this is a guild supplies widget in the adventures thing. Yeah, that's fine. So we need more than just the quantity here. We need to say something like current bonus. Guild supplies bonus. So health bonus. Yeah, I want to say current life bonus, current power bonus, something like that. Okay. So that here. So current health bonus plus that, and then current power bonus. Okay. Anyone read the MIT study about 95% of AI pilots failing? So you're saying 5% succeeded? I did not read that study. I wonder how far off they are from getting like 50% success. Because I think a lot of us probably look at that and would think, oh yeah, AI is terrible at that. And it's pretty safe to say if there's a 95% fail rate for something that has human lives on the line, then it's a pretty bad success rate. But what if like even 2 months from now, it goes up another 10% or something? Like how rapidly will that stat improve? And it might not be at all. Maybe this is as good as it gets. All right, yep, there we go. So that looks good. We need to format these things, which I don't think we're doing right now. No, we're not doing that right now. So what are we doing here? We're getting just the next one of these. Can't we always just get whatever level you currently have? Isn't this like dead simple? Okay, power bonus, current power bonus, I guess, is equal to this. I'm just going to test it with the power bonus for right now, because if it works for power, it's going to work for health. So now we say plus, how do I want to do this? I guess let's get the string. Current power bonus string equals bb code functions dot format number. Then we do that. Yeah. Now I am putting a plus sign in there. I don't know if that's going to look good or bad. Let's try it out. The models aren't the problem. It's the users not understanding the products they're producing. You're talking about with LLMs? Like people are trying to adapt them to be general intelligence when they're not? Because yeah, I think that's potentially part of what's happening there. Although if it was an MIT study, then my own personal assumption is that the people doing an MIT study would know what they're supposed to be used for, and that it was probably not the goal of the study to like show the AI is bad. All right, so we gotta go back over to here. So current power bonus is +0. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to test this, I guess. Actually, there is, right? I can just go into pirate mode. And then we'll start with the treasure room. And then I can just force some treasure chests to get created. And then whoever levels up, levels up. So we click on lock. And the witch doctor is there. Witch doctor should currently say +0. But when I do this, it should say +1. Yep. And when I do, well, I don't have enough more of those. Can we get more of those? No. Okay, well, fine. Let's look at the cleric thing because we got enough of those. All right, so one cleric thing goes up to +1. Two cleric things makes it go up to +3. Nice. Okay. Hey, leftist. Hey, Mighty Core. Okay, you know what would look probably even better than this? This is going to be a little bit just tedious to make. So this is life bonus from guild supplies, current bonus we put here. We get the string for this. We put that there. Great. All right, so what does it say? Collect some more of this for the guild to further train your adventurer, granting bonus power and life. Current bonuses is how I think we should do this. And then like an unordered list. And then this much health. And then a new line. And then this much power. Okay, that might look better. Got plans for your break? No, just sit around, play some games, do some productive stuff in real life, and not. I'm gonna try not to touch code, and I'm probably still gonna do some Skeleseller work. I feel like I have three main aspects to the work right now. There's coding, there's marketing, and there's game design still. It's kind of weird that there's game design this late, but it's mostly around challenge mode. So I'm gonna try not to do any coding. But I think I might still do a little bit of marketing and I might still do a little bit of game design. I'm not sure. Cool, I'll leave for Japan. I'll see you there. I hope you have a great time in Japan. I feel like I'm hearing about more and more people traveling there. Is the yen down or something? I'm not saying that's why you would be traveling there necessarily. You're living the affiliate lifestyle, so it makes sense that you wouldn't need for any currency to be bad ever. It's still Leftis's greatest tweet. Yeah, it's been down since late 90s. But it's down further than normal. All right, how's this looking? All right, there's another new line. I forgot to end the list. Whoopsie. What is it? UL? Yeah, UL. Twitch affiliate thing always just cracks me up. I don't think there's much to this joke, so I don't think there's much to explain or anything. Leftists have become a Twitch affiliate, and it's not something you associate with making like millions of dollars or something. But I think he was pulling in some subs, or I don't remember what. Anyway, it was funny to me. All right, so current bonuses plus 0 health plus 0 power. I think that's good. Now let's go get the treasure room. All right, we just need any of these that got multiple levels. Yeah, so let's just make a bunch of workers. I don't need to do this stuff, right? Go, my swarm. Okay, now we look at the witch doctor. We just hover over this. Yeah, plus 15 health, plus 3 power. I like that. I think it's pretty good. Now, what would be nice is how do we get rid of the bullet point? There's some way of doing that. I think it's just bullet equals nothing. So if I add a new rich text label and we make it BB code and I say UL hello world /UL. So this should have bullets. And then if I do UL bullet equals, they go away. Yeah, that's what I want. There. What stock do we buy today? Skeleseller stock. Stock up on bones. Buy dog bones. Love that restaurant. Need to go again. I wonder, have I been craving a certain... Yes, I have. I've been craving a calzone. Love calzones. Yeah, I gotta get a calzone soon. Problem is, it kind of ruins my stomach. But it tastes so good. At what point do you ignore what your body's telling you and listen to what your tongue is telling you? Low cal calzone zone. Good old Ben Wyatt. All right, how's that now? Yeah, nice. I like this a lot. Costco's in Seattle have the calzone yet? I'm not sure. They'd probably do a good job. Hey, Flair. Vacating. Nice, 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 nice. What are the plans for vacation for you, Flair? It also wrecked my stomach. I'd say net positive, net positive. Where'd you get yours from? Because there's a place nearby called Bollywood 360. Let me make sure I don't dox myself by showing this. There better not be a map or something. I think this is safe to show. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, this place. They do an Indian calzone. It's actually pretty good. But Pagliacci is also good. And I can't think of many other places that do a calzone around here. And a Costco bulgogi bake. Wow, neat. Yeah, regional Costco's have a bunch of interesting stuff. You know what I want to try someday? Is that, like, I think this is mostly a Korean thing, but maybe it's Japanese as well. And it's not even that crazy. A very tall soft serve ice cream. I want to get one of those. I've never had the height of this ice cream before. All the ones I get look like that. Well, smaller than that. But yeah. So if you get one of those, oh, you have places in Colorado that do that? Okay. Yeah. Well, if you get one of those, you should take a picture of it. I'd like to see a picture of that. Have a pizza place right across the street from my place. I'll dox myself if I mention it. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Well, if you would recommend it, could you text it to me? Because I am actually looking for a calzone. Oh, it might be Maybe it's the place I'm thinking of. I think I only know them to do pizzas at the place I'm thinking of. Ice cream looks incredible. Man, I love saucer ice cream. Okay, this is working. So I think we can check this in. Yeah. Improve guild supply section. It now shows the bonuses when you hover over the current level. That way you don't have to look at the individual health/power stats. Whoops. You would not necessarily recommend it. Okay, good. Then don't text me. Don't ever text me again. Just fold the pizza in half. Yeah, that's pretty much what a lot of these places do. You just need a little bit more dough. All right, need to rethink difficulty levels. Yeah, this is stuff I want to save for later. Progression. Yep. Okay, cool. So yeah, ignore this stuff for now. What about this? Starting with a non-DPS is kind of rough. Maybe force the starter to be rogue, archer, or mage. Which characters are good characters to start with? So if we just, I don't know what happened there. If we just take all of this, the warrior is questionable. Mage is good. Rogue is good. Cleric is definitely bad. Paladin is bad. Witch doctor, questionable. Archer is good. Questionable, bad, and bad. Some of this is just balance could change it. I don't know why I'm formatting this list at this point. This is a waste of my time. Okay, so here's our list that we have. So definitely these, and then possibly these. Let's not even try to figure out the questionable ones. Let's just give you one of those three then. I said a calzone. Said what's a calzone? Yeah, I don't know why they're not more common. Was across from someone who just taped a banner at the house that says pizza. They don't even serve it. Like, this calzone was terrible. Okay, I'll start with one of these characters. So how do we do this right now? Town challenge mode. I think we have like hire random adventurer. Where are you? Skip tutorial. This is what does it? It probably is. Can I do this and not wait? Hire a random adventurer. Yep. Okay, well, can we just not do that? What is this? Unlock all adventurers. Hire random. I want to not hire a totally random one. I want to hire a DPS. Hire. Hire random damage dealer. Sure. Yeah. So do that. This isn't technically a debug function anymore. And it's public and doesn't need to be. Hire random damage dealer. Okay, so hash set adventure class. Actually, it's got to be a list. I'm going to sample it. List of adventure class damage dealers or classes equals. So it's going to be, we said the rogue, the mage, and the archer. And we're going to randomly give you one of those. Yeah, there. And then just put this lower in the file. Okay, so yeah, there were some complaints that if you start with certain adventurers, you're kind of just screwed from the beginning, which, yeah, I can see that. So this should fix it. We should always start with one of those three now. There's the archer. I'm just going to click this a few times. There's a 70% chance if I did this wrong that we would see a problem. So if I don't see it after a few of these, then we're going to assume it's working. Yeah. Yes, we got archer, rogue, archer, mage, something. I don't know what. Anyway, it worked. Okay. Force first adventurer to be DPS. You either start with the rogue, mage, or archer now in challenge mode. That way you can get the run off to a better start. I wonder if a perk that says, actually, this is kind of interesting. I didn't think about this until just now. I gotta write this down. In fact, maybe we should code it. Here's what I'm thinking. What if there's a perk that said, adventurers you hire start at level 3 instead of level 1? And then we add a condition saying, don't show this perk if you've hired all adventurers already. Well, start at level X instead of level 1. X is at least 2. So this is kind of nice if you get this early on. I like the idea. I need to think about it a little bit more, but I do like the idea. So let's put it in here. Adventurers. Maybe we say something like experienced adventurers. Adventurers you hire start at level X, where X is at least 2. Note, don't allow this perk to show if you've hired all adventurers already. This is pretty interesting. I hadn't thought about this. Yeah. I like this idea. Okay, maybe there should be a place to fight that doesn't generate items. That way, if you're getting too many items, you can send adventurers to this location. Be a battle map like the mines. I think this should just be a new system. And we talked about mining before. Although I was thinking of mining taking your workers. I want something that takes your adventurers and generates money without getting items. I'm not even sure if I want that though. I think I just want there to be more ways to use the items. I guess we'll write this in here. Thought about synergies. These are incentive to pick them. Okay, so let's just delete this. Treasure room. Workers, some bottlenecks. Storage is kind of at a premium. Armor stacks up quite a lot, yeah. So we got to figure out some way of doing this. Mercenaries, it's like the opposite. Well, I guess you're saying you hire out your adventurers as mercenaries to other people. I guess the simplest way of doing that, although it's not exactly that, would be just while your adventurers are in town, they earn like 2 gold per second. Except for it doesn't make sense because what are they earning money doing? It's kind of an interesting perk though. Actually, I like that idea, even if we don't do that. I don't know, what do we call that perk? I don't know the name of it, but every X seconds that an adventurer is in town, they earn Y gold. I don't know what the theming of this is. The mercenary route is interesting, but then they wouldn't be in town doing nothing. Why would they earn money? I don't know, whatever. Let's think of that later. All right, so we have this written down already. Yeah. The only outlet you can even have is the armor shop and the garbage slime. Armor in particular is kind of bad because the only outlets are the shop and the slime. Move items with the keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, this is something about having tips. Tips, beginner intro. Telling people that they can move items with keyboard shortcuts would be nice. Twist that gives free treasure chest should be nerfed a bit. Yeah, this is nuts. I was playing around with this, and I think this is too powerful. Right now, the way that it works is it's 50 seconds. Every 50 seconds, you get a free treasure chest. So at level 1, it's giving you one every 50 seconds. And I feel like at level 1, it should give you one every 60 seconds, so it's worse. And then level 2, we make it slightly worse. And level 3, we could probably keep it the same. I don't see a problem with that. So this is a really easy change to do. Instead of doing 60 minus this times 10, we're going to do 60 minus this minus 1 times 15. So now it's going to be 60 minus 0 times 15, so 60, and then 1 times 15, and then 2 times 15, and it can't go any lower than that. Yeah, I think it's good. All right, so nerf free treasure chest. It used to give a free chest every 50, 40, 30 seconds. Now it's 60, 45, 30. I just think it was too good if you got it early on. Hey, TJ. Happy Friday. Happy Friday indeed. Okay, this idea of different towns being interesting. One where shops can all get 15 slots, but the warehouse is tiny. I just want to file this as an idea. As a player, I don't like this commit. Well, as a player who would only choose level 3 of that, it's not even impacting you, EJ. There goes my early game strat. Too bad. How you doing, EJ? Did I not write this somewhere? Snow? Snow would have brought it up. Winter? Aha. Can you use the winter tile sets? Is this in the ideas section? It is. Also, just having different towns in general could be nice. One where all the shops get 15 slots, but the warehouse is tiny. One where the armor shop is huge, but it's far away, so customers take a while shopping from it, etc. Doing good. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty well. You've been playing Schedule 1 lately, right? Is that game still doing like fantastically well? View page. Overwhelmingly positive. 98% positive. Nuts. Just played once per few weeks. I see. I saw some people in voice chat and I was like, what's going on over there? Here was an idea that I had that I didn't finish the idea. It was just the condition was the idea. Like, what if there was a perk that said next time you have 500 sludge, do something and get a cool reward? And like, yeah, let's write it down as an idea, general ideas. After accumulating X gold or sludge, do some powerful reward. This incentivizes you to save up for a bit, which would change your playstyle. How close to release? It's not going to be Q4 anymore. In fact, that's one of the things on the bottom of this list. Change the Steam launch to TBD. It's stressing me out. This says Q4. So I don't know how close we are. I've got to figure that out. I think challenge mode is turning into a fun mode. I actually played like 3 or 4 times yesterday off stream. And then I was like, I should go do something else at this point. But it was fun. We have a decent amount of content in it. It's turning into something. It's just, I think it's like 2 months away from even finishing this mode. It's kind of sad to think about that. When I think about what work we need to do, we're probably going to add in some meta progression. I haven't even designed this yet. So there's the design and the coding for this. Then save files is just the coding for it. And then balancing some more content, especially the difficulties and perks and twists. Is that it? That might be it. I guess some polish and bug fixes. Gemini image editing model. It's insanely good. Wow. No, I haven't seen it. The problem with AI image generation, though, is that you don't get the copyright to it, right? I missed 5 food.exe releases. I've missed 6 apparently. I know about the first one. Would you ever want to do an initial release without those things or an early release and then just improve it post release? Asking because I don't know. I'm not sure. I think early access is a possibility. And what we're doing right now is we have a playtest version that's out. And actually, so currently, if you search for Skeleseller on YouTube, I think it's only Plum Yeti who's been doing videos with challenge mode or on challenge mode. Yeah, it's checking out dev work on challenge mode. So this has been very insightful. And you can see even from the thumbnail, like this is super broken here, this graphic. So there are a lot of little things I learned by watching this. I'm hoping to get some more YouTubers on board with challenge mode specifically. And that way I can figure out where do we stand. This is, oh, thanks Button Software. Yeah. So this is the problem with challenge mode, which is that it's based on the main game, and the main game takes most people like 90 to 120 minutes. So I don't know what to do about this, but when it came to, hey, let's test the main game, I could give it to anybody. I could say, okay, here's the game, like give it to a friend, give it to someone who's interested as a viewer. And after 30 minutes, I'd watch them play the game for 30 minutes and I'd understand what's going right and what's going wrong. With challenge mode, you can't just jump in and without having ever played Skeleseller, play challenge mode. So 30 minutes of playtime would mean you just played the main game. Another 30 minutes means you played the main game. And another 30 minutes you played the main game. And then finally, after like 2 hours, now you can play challenge mode and understand what's happening. I need to figure out how to get people who've already done this part so that I can just watch them play challenge mode for the first time. And it's just difficult to do that. So if anyone wants to sign up to be a playtester, please do let me know. And more specifically, what I really need is I need people who've never played challenge mode but have played the demo of Skeleseller to record themselves playing. It doesn't need to be public. So you can record a video, list it privately on YouTube, or I don't know, share it with me through your own site or something like that. And then I'll watch you play and understand like, oh, here's where this person's struggling. Here's where they're confused. They find this fun. They don't find this fun. So I think what I need to do is reach out to some of the YouTubers I already contacted and say like, hey, challenge mode is a work in progress. Would you mind doing a video on it? Because I learned a lot watching Plum Yeti. Yeah. All right, this is a pretty interesting twist. So anyway, that was all tied into the early access stuff. So if we went into early access, we could also go into, there's 3 things we could do here. We could do early access. We could do a public playtest. So I don't know how many people know this is even a feature on Steam, but you might have seen it with some big AAA games. You can make a Steam page for your playtest version, or maybe it's for your release version. And just like how there's download demo and there's add to wish list, you could put something here like sign up for playtest. And then there are 2 modes within that. One is just give them access immediately. And 2 is put them into a pool of people. So let's say you have a really popular game and you have like 50,000 interested people in the playtest. You could say, okay, give access to 2,500 of them. And Steam just gives those 2,500 people keys. And if you're like, well, we need to open the floodgates a little bit more, maybe it's a multiplayer game and you actually need 10,000 people playing, then like, okay, share another 7,500. So that is another route we could do as a public playtest. The reason I don't necessarily want to do this is an indie game with one form of monetization. And that's a roughly $15 purchase. And that's it. So how many people would sign up for the playtest and it's basically the full game and now they don't buy the game? But I need that feedback. So it is a route I might consider. Burly access. You get super jacked and flex on street. I prefer curly access where you eat French fries all day. Come on, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I think this perk is a good idea. I think we should do this. All right, to do, let's write it down in concrete things. Perk limited options. You only see 2 town perks at a time. Or not perk, what twist? Negative twist. You are only offered 2 town perks at a time. Hey, Snow Goose. Hope you're doing well and the game's looking great. Would it be okay if I ask a quick bit of advice? Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't have much experience when it comes to funding, so I might not be able to help, but I'm happy to entertain the question at least. All right, guild supply should be populated from the rear of the warehouse so that they don't get eaten by the garbage slime immediately. Although it's hilarious that it happens that way. Or is an easier thing, the slime shouldn't eat guild supplies. Yeah, I think this is what we should do. Guild supplies are worth like 2 gold. So they're cheaper than any other item that you could find. So they just shouldn't get eaten. Recently missed some admission criteria for a grant I thought I'd qualify for. Fair enough, but the deadline was a blessing. I added tons of features and the demo's almost complete. Just missing polish, art assets, and sound. Any advice on where I could look for funding at this stage? Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have much advice. I assume you're talking about a game, in which case publishers or crowdfunding. Do you think? Yeah, Kickstarter. Yeah. So I think these are pretty much your only real routes for this. And there's a certain kind of game that works well with crowdfunding. So some games get funded practically immediately. I don't think this is okay, here I'll just share some thoughts because one, I think this is a full-time job for at least a month. So you might get, let's say, $30,000 and now you delay your launch by a month because just handling crowdfunding, marketing it, fulfilling requests or whatever it is, the like the higher tiers of backing, you're probably going to give them something. You need to like follow up with all those people. And then, yeah, I don't know. I don't like this route unless you're asking for a high enough amount of money, like maybe $200,000 or something. And then there are all the problems with just crowdfunding in general, which is like, will the product ever get shipped? Those sorts of things. But that's for consumers to figure out. The publisher route, I actually also don't like. I think, like, okay, I'll say this. I don't have experience with publishers. But from everything I've read, I don't know how much the average publisher does for you. I know what they say they'll do for you. They're typically supposed to help with some marketing, maybe some resources, maybe localization. But some of this stuff is stuff that you can do without giving up a portion of your game. And I think it takes very little to be a publisher. Like I could just say, oh, I'm a publisher, and I go reach out to 10 different indie developers and I'm like, hey, I'll market your game, give me 20% of your revenue. And they agree to this thing, and I write a contract that says like, yeah, I just need to do something. So I make a tweet about it. I'm like, well, I marketed your game and now I have 20% of your game. And it's like nothing's stopping you from getting into that state. So you need to vet the publishers. And I gotta say, I've had publishers reach out to me, probably more than 10 at this point. And if their message to me looks bad, I can only imagine what their marketing materials would be like to the rest of the world. Like I had a very cringy message, one of the last ones I got. I'm not gonna like name and shame or whatever. They're just a person. They're trying to like make their publishing company work. But the message was just so cringy that I thought, man, who would have confidence that this publisher is going to do well if their message to me immediately turned me off? So yeah, I don't like these routes, but yeah, if you need money, then I guess you don't have too much. I guess there's one other thing you could do, which is early access. Have a, like you said, the demo is pretty good. Maybe you could make your savings last just a tiny bit longer, then go to early access and hope to recoup some costs there. At least then you're the one getting the money. Just share them. No, I really shouldn't do that. Early access worked out well for me. Got more sales from the real release than the early access one, since wishlist had been building up over a year. Yeah, so anyway, of these routes, I would suggest early access because I don't trust the average publisher. And if you can land a big publisher, then maybe great, but I don't know how likely that is. And crowdfunding, I think, is kind of risky, and now you're working on something else for some amount of time. Make them list out what's a least or guaranteed marketing budget and actions. Yes, that's true. I think there are ways you can protect yourself, right? The only way you get a publisher is by eventually signing a contract, and you can read the contract and you can add your own items to it and get them to agree to those. But I think some game developers are sometimes in a sort of desperate situation, or maybe they're hopeful about things, or maybe they aren't confident enough to be litigious to some extent. Like, hey, our contract says this, you must abide by this, or you need to take legal action. It's just, that's how contracts work. So yeah, I would not want to deal with that bag of worms. Personally, don't like early access. Yeah, I'm like sort of with you on that. The two sides of early access, as a consumer, you might never get the product. As a producer of the product, you might not get what you need, which is either money or eyeballs. And then some games stay on early access for a very long time. Like, I wonder, Valheim is probably still in early access, right? Yeah, it's been in early access since 2021. Like, at this point, it's got enough reviews, it's got enough players. What would the release even look like? What is the point of releasing this game if you've been in early access for 4 years? And I'm not saying there's no point. Possibly there will be even more visibility into the game, and people will say like, okay, well now it's ready. Those 2 million people we had who tried this out. I know this is not 2 million this number, but you multiply by a certain amount to figure out how many people were playing it, and actually it's probably even more than that, right? Because you probably multiply by about 30, so it's probably like 6 million people played this game. Also, what is this that's going on here? I don't remember the game looking like this at all. There's some random like animatic that's going on. Yeah, this is what I remember the game looking like. Consumers feel that early access is the full product anyway after some playtime. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I think it's a double-edged sword. And I think early access itself has been sort of warped over the years. I think 10 years ago, people were like, "Oh, this is a beta and I'll be somewhat of a tester. I'll probably get a discount on the game and the game will be launched after some time." Those were probably the expectations, and this was all super reasonable. Like, if consumers understood this and the person making the game understood this, then great. But nowadays, I think it's more like, I'm going to wing it from the developer side of things. So it's like, well, let's see if we get some money. Otherwise, we're just going to cancel the project. And yeah, it's kind of a shame. Pretty much stop buying early access altogether. Yeah, I think the last early access game I bought was Necess. And I just don't feel like ever playing this again now. It wasn't like a terrible game or anything. It just wasn't super fun. And it's hard to know what was not fun because it was early access versus what was not fun because it was just a game. And when I got Terraria, I got this like when it first came out. And I don't think it ever entered early access. I think it was just like a V1. And there was a good amount of content. You could get to like the underworld and then fight that boss. And I think that was it. So I think there were like 3 bosses. But it was a lot of fun. I didn't feel like it was early access. And nowadays, I bet they would have entered in early access. Hey, Mitch. And hey, Flood. So you're making an indie game. Would you like Redacted, an indie publisher with 20 years of experience, to be your publisher? It wasn't like that level of cringy. Like, imagine, and it wasn't this either, but imagine if you told like a knock-knock joke in your opening message. Be like, what are they thinking? Like, why would you reach out to me with a knock-knock joke? Again, that's not what happened. But it's a similar level of cringe. 7 Days to Die is also early access and simple game. Yeah. Leaning to a Kickstarter campaign. Yeah, it's worth trying out. The other thing that's nice is if a Kickstarter campaign doesn't work, then you can potentially refund everybody and only have spent like 2 to 4 weeks on it. I do think the best Kickstarter campaigns have like custom art. They have cool reward tiers. There's, like I said, there's some amount of follow-up assuming that you succeeded, because then you need to follow up on the rewards and everything. And then there's marketing behind the campaign itself. I don't know how many eyes Kickstarter gets, and I don't know where on the internet you post about these things to get easy traction, but yeah. I never want to do EA again, made too much of a mess. Do you have a post-mortem or something to War Prime? I'd love to read more about that. Also, the final thing I'll say about early access, at least for now, is I think player expectations I think can be wild based on them liking the game. As an example, I am probably about 80% done with Skeleseller. So let's say I launch an early access. I think people would naturally assume that I'm 50% done and then be like, oh, I'm going to get double the game. And yet I would just say, oh, well, we're just making sure we're going in the right direction. We're going to polish some things. We're going to add a little bit of content. So I think a bunch of people might say, well, yeah, I played this since early access and like hardly anything changed between then and the full game. Like, why not just wait? So yeah. Nope, just mortem. Okay. Well, I'd still like to hear any thoughts you might have on it if you ever do write something up. Why did chicken cross the road? To get to Dum Dum's house? Ah, I've heard that general joke before. Never said to me, of course. No one would call me a dum dum, but yeah. Still get negative reviews. The game crashes or has major bugs. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the Skeleseller demo has looked, at least, or how it's kind of been going. Oh, I haven't checked if the reviews have changed at all. No, people just stopped reviewing. They stopped posting on the forums. I think just generally all the metrics died down a lot. Although I did realize that posting here is incredibly helpful. In fact, someone read this note. If you want to playtest the changes, join the Discord. Someone actually read this and joined Discord and is now a playtester. So like these news posts help too. All right, so there is eat from warehouse, and this is right there. And we'll go find that. All right, so what does this do? Get occupied items, get the first where the display item is not held, and the display get item dot. We should probably just make a function out of this at this point. All right, item equals display dot get item. So that's this. So the item isn't held, and the item's item category is not equal to item category dot guild supplies. I don't know what any of this is because it's not auto-completing anymore. I'm not even saying AI. I just don't remember what I called this. Adventure item, guild supplies? I don't know. So let's wait for this to get syntax highlighted. There we go. It's called Adventurer Power Up. What a name. Okay, now what am I missing here? Curly brace expected. There. Okay, I must have had multiple cursors. Okay, so go through every occupied display that is not held and is not a guild supply. Then let's go into the trade-off generation and turn off everything that's not that. And then let's try that out. What happened? VS Code just like multiple times per day just stops working the way I want it to. It's probably one of the C# extensions that stops, or the language server or something. But yeah, it just stops syntax highlighting. It stops auto-completing. I need to reload it, and then everything's fixed. And I've just never looked into it. I really should. It's costing me a lot of time. Okay, so the way we need to do this is get to this mode and then get the warehouse. Nice. Okay, perfect. So now we just need some perks. Also, as long as I'm testing it, it's actually kind of nice having some music there. All right, town perks by whatever, literally anything, it doesn't matter, until we get to the fifth one, and then we're offered a twist. So, greedy garbage slime. The garbage slime will automatically eat an item from the warehouse when at maximum hunger. So we take that, and now if I were to generate an item, it'll just immediately get eaten because it's at max hunger. So now we need the treasure room. Good. And then we need treasure to be in the warehouse. And now it should not eat this, even if it's hungry. Good. But if I guess let's put this over here. If I were to generate an item, it will eat the new item. Yeah, perfect. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, so these are only worth 2 gold, and you don't want it to eat these. Yeah. I could speed this up a little bit. Not that it really makes a huge difference. Cool. All right. This was another one of these things that I tested, and I was like, oh, that shouldn't happen. What's your least favorite variable name you've ever created and how to make it into production? Well, I have a database right now named foo because I just never changed it. That's running, whoops, that's running this, the command database, all the points that people get in chat. Yeah, all these things are backed by a database that's named foo, I believe. So that's got to be it. It's so bad. And I have a note on my to-do list to change it, but it's just so low priority that it doesn't matter. Prevent slime from eating guild supplies from the warehouse, at least, with the twist that makes them eat from the warehouse. Rationale. It's foo forever now, yeah. Hey Marco. Your works, don't touch it. Yeah. Guild supplies aren't worth much money. So having the slime eat one is doubly bad. You lose the supply, and the slime used its ability, or like would have used its ability on a cheapo item. Okay. Check that in, delete this now. All right, rerolls should be more common at the beginning and less common toward the end. Maybe it's every 5 perks and then every 6 perks after you get to a certain number. And we should start you with a reroll. I don't know how I feel about this. I think town perks should just cost more toward the end of the game, maybe. I was hoping for and expecting a really long and garbled one that you hated. Never imagined a foo. Well, it's not really a variable name, I guess, but it is a database name that I have. Otherwise, I don't think anything really sticks out. Because variables in code, you can always rename. But renaming a database is a little bit harder because you need to change the database and some code. Or a connection string, at least. A finished game on Steam with the VS solution name is still Sprite Animate, which is a DirectX SDK example. It's funny. Yeah, I don't know what to do about these rerolls. What did it say when you get a perk? Reroll the choices presented to you. Every 5 perks you buy, you get another reroll. I don't think we should touch this for right now. Probably should have put it in a config. It's in an environment file, I believe. It's probably not even that hard for me to change it. I just haven't. You're welcome, Mitch. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do anything about this. All right, maybe some adventurers should start with a random skill point, just the weaker ones. I don't know about that, but I do think this is important. Summoner stats are bad. Doctor. Any adventurer that never seen to have a place should probably just be buffed. So basically all the non-DPS ones. Okay, what about... Did I not write this down? I didn't write this down? Oh, here it is. Could limit ones that aren't useful, like lifesteal for the spirit caller. Not important for a V1. Yeah, that's true, but we're not really in V1 anymore, are we? Do we need to limit buffs for certain adventurers? Can you even make a special lifesteal that says whenever your snake deals damage, you gain life? Yeah, this right here. Probably eventually limit buffs for certain adventurers is not important at first. You just not choose lifesteal. Yeah, but that's stupid. Oh, man. All right, we got to do this, I think. I don't know how. Please name it bar. I think if I fix this, I will just fix it. Okay, so here's the issue that we have. Let's say you're offered this. Okay, so Spirit Caller. +6 health, that's fine. +3 damage out when hit, that's fine. Okay, so all this stuff is actually fine. Let's roll this again. Okay, so we're starting to see a little bit of a problem here. +12% haste. The Spirit Caller has one ability. That's passive, that's passive. So this one, it's Empower Spirit. So getting haste does help them a very, very tiny bit. But I think you would expect the haste to get inherited by the summons. We could do that. In fact, maybe that's not hard. That's probably what I should do. Just have them inherit all the stats. Dodge, haste, lifesteal, and return damage. Return damage would probably be crazy. For the Witch Doctor. It'd be like the strongest character in the game. But wait a second. Lifesteal doesn't even help all of these spirits. It literally only helps the snake. Dodge doesn't really help any of them because they're all invincible. Haste helps all of them. Return damage doesn't really help. Yeah, so really it's just haste that helps them. Okay, so yeah, here's the problem. The Spirit Caller is a very unique class that doesn't benefit a lot from any of the special stats. So dodge is fine. Haste, not all that great on the Spirit Caller themselves, but would be great on any summons. Lifesteal does literally nothing. What were the other ones? Plus power. Plus power actually matters, doesn't it? How does this work? It says 8 damage. What if we upgrade the Witch Doctor or the Spirit Caller? We need to get that. There it is. All right, we take that, we put it in there. Does that change it from 8? Yeah, now it's 9. Okay, so power helps them. But yeah, lifesteal does nothing. I guess return damage is decent. Dodge is decent. So yeah, I think they should just inherit the stats. I just think that's too powerful for the Witch Doctor, but we could have them inherit them slightly differently. Yeah, I think we need to do that. I'll write that down. Because they're pretty bad right now. Okay, so what do we write here? Have summons inherit the special stats from the summoner. This will greatly buff the Witch Doctor and Spirit Caller. So dodge, lifesteal, haste, and return damage. The Witch Doctor may even be too powerful if we do this, so maybe we should use a percentage of the stats for them. Their weapons don't have cooldowns. They have cooldowns. Well, okay, so the way the Spirit Caller works is when we... What do we have here? Hang on, let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, so the way the Spirit Caller works is you send them into battle. Let me turn this on. Okay, you send them into battle, and it immediately summons any spirits they had. So right now it's just the snake. The Spirit Caller doesn't do any damage. They empower their snake and make the snake do more damage. So lifesteal is pointless because they're not attacking. The snake's attacking. And haste is okay, but all it's doing is empowering your spirits more often. So if we get a bunch of battle perks for them, like if I click this and select this, and let's just keep getting... Oops, darn it. I'm going to try to find... Wow, it's not generating any Spirit Caller ones. There we go. Improve Snake Spirit. All right, so now we have the fairy spirit as well. So now this one will heal. The spirits can't actually be attacked, by the way, while the spirit caller's alive. That's weird. There's a tiny sliver of life missing. Oh, maybe because we got... Wait, no, it's still missing. What is doing that? Is it just No, there's still red there. That's weird. I've never noticed that. Huh. Okay, well, let's take a picture of that. And then let's take a picture of the picture so it's zoomed in even more. Okay, so I'll just write fixed bug. Spirit callers, summons are missing a sliver of health. Is that happening even in the regular mode? No. What if I do that? No, it's full. Is this only a problem with guild supplies? Man. Just click a bunch of these things. There. Now I can click this. Okay. Hey Jake, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Alright, so we gave them +5 health. Is that somehow triggering this? It might be, and it might be impossible to tell now because they have so much health. Yeah, ugh. Okay, well, the way that we would do this, I guess, is just select the spirit caller for all of these. And then make a bunch of workers. And speed this up a lot. And then just keep making chest after chest after chest. Alright, so what did that bring them up to? 30, that's it? I guess we should be making special keys. And make them auto-purchase. Alright, now that's a lot of loot. Looks ridiculous. Alright, well, it's almost done. They're gonna run out of keys pretty soon. Let me just turn this off. Hey, Resco, good day to you. Alright, how much life have we got now? Plus 300. That's probably enough. Let's go start a battle. Huh, it's not happening. I wonder if it's just a low-level thing. Or it's some, like, specific... Well, I guess we'll write this down. This was in challenge mode. The spirit caller was level 4 or 5, maybe. And I think it may have been caused by guild supplies somehow. It definitely doesn't seem to happen when you grant most things in regular mode. I mean, we could have this... Are they still getting keys? They are. So that means that this thing is at... Yeah, it's at 450 life now. But it hasn't happened again. I wonder if it has to do with where this thing's positioned on screen. No. Could be caused by battle perks. You got a few? The only battle perks that modify your life is the literal life upgrade, I guess. I guess it could be that. Let's try that. Alright, so just get any battle perk for the spirit caller. Spirit caller hasn't shown up yet. There. Okay, so they get 11 health. So let's click that one. And then try putting the spirit caller into battle. I don't know why I didn't click debug speed up. So it's not just that. Now let's get the treasure room. Come on. There. Okay. And now give me spirit caller stuff. That's not spirit caller stuff. That also isn't. Come on. There's one. Okay. So I get this. I put this in the guild. And does that do it? Does not do it. Well, now I need more spirit caller items. I'll try one more of these levels, which hopefully we actually get this. Man, it's not happening. It's just a random chat. There it is. Okay, good. Okay, so how's that look? No, it didn't do it. No, level 3. I mean, I could give them another battle perk, I guess. Plus 11 more health. That did it. Very weird. So I guess let's take a screenshot of exactly how much health they have. Because that should repro it every single time. Yeah. I think the battle perks may have done it. Should just be able to set up the stats from this picture to find the issue. All right, point to Sockton. Okay, so yeah, cool, done with that. Your adventurers in town can buy stuff, making them act like customers. Maybe they don't ever idle. If this were to power up adventurers in addition to buying. So is this interesting? I think the motivation behind this was, what if you have too many items in town? Maybe. This is one of those things, though, that I think could be potentially overpowered. I'm just going to delete this. I don't think this is that interesting. All right, fix the bug where quick moving something flies from the wrong location. Yeah. How about we go look into this super fast? It's probably not going to be super fast to fix. So how do we do this? It's when you choose a location for an item. Wait, no, it's not even when you choose a location. You can just click a bunch of items, right? Let's go into regular mode for a second. So if I do this and just left click and right click rapidly. No, nothing's. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So that's happening. So they start flying in from a random location. Well, it's not random. It's 0, 0. But what is the repro for this? It's apparently not just left clicking and right clicking madly. Huh. I don't know. It seemed like it was very common for it to happen when you do this. Not happening now. Yeah, there it happened. Oh, I wonder if it's like I'm dropping it on the place it started while moving it. That might be it. About your map? What do you mean? Shouldn't have gone back to look at that page for points and not even on the board? Means I'm contributing nothing to the stream. So you might have contributed something back in the botland days. I don't know if I have those points. But yeah, this is the new system. And yeah, I guess you are not on it. The vacation map I posted. Oh, neat. Oh, I did not see that. Wow, cool. Wonder how many miles that is. I didn't. I'm quite positive. You might have. I gave points for not even just helping back then. I think sometimes someone would tell a really funny joke and I'd sometimes give points. But yeah, you're contributing. Look at that heart. You think there'd be a heart there if you weren't contributing? I think not. Okay, so then we're not going to try to fix this right now. Quick. Seam. What was it? Do I have this filed somewhere? Hardworking adventurers to say when not in battle. This we should have changed now. I'm sick of people being confused by this. Hardworking. Makes your adventurers transport and stock items. They will only do this when not in battle. When in town. Yeah, I think it's clearer. So that fixes bug 1112. Update wording on hard-working adventurers. Fixes 1112. Good, good, good. All right, that's not what I wanted to do, though. There was something... There was something about items flying in from random locations or flying in from 0, 0. I don't know where it is. Yeah, I can't find it. Okay, well, let's file an issue. Using the... Well, actually, it's not even the quick move menu, right? It was like right-clicking an item does this too? Man, I don't see it. I could have sworn I wrote this down. Oh, here it is. Yeah, right there. Okay, let's put this... Let's just put this here for now. This is also apparent when using the quick move menu. Just mashing 1 to put a bunch of items in shops can have this happen. I wonder if it's because we try to issue 2 commands to the same item. E.g., we're sending it back to where it came and then picking it up before it gets there. That's probably what's happening, but it's really hard to tell. Like, it just happened there. I didn't click super fast. Trying to get it to happen. Shop is full. Happened there. What am I doing? I don't even know. I have no way of testing this more easily, do I? Oh, man. When are you going to add quick cast? Oh, like the dedicated UI? I don't know. Yeah. All right, well, fixing that issue is going to be a little bit difficult for now. Still not sure that the micromanaging is fun or interesting. Maybe just give more workers. Making the quest easier would accomplish that nicely. Yeah, the quest thing needs to be written down somewhere if we haven't already written it down. Randomize quests. Note, if we don't randomize quests, then we should at least make them a little bit easier, probably. Or change the bow quest to use something from a location you're actually going to. No, like the pressing number when hovering. Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking another thing we could do is like maybe if you hold shift when you click an item, it just always tries to send it to the first location that works, or maybe any location that works. But then I'm kind of concerned that the whole game would just turn into shift clicking a bunch of items. I almost wonder if the way to work around that is to increase the scale of the town. Like maybe that's what challenge mode should be. I think that's something worth writing down. Oh, I am not gonna like doing this. One potential fix, which would be somewhat costly, would be to start each town with maybe like increase the scale of everything. Shops could have a maximum of 30 slots, and you could start with like 6 or 8. This would probably be one of the only things that would make your own clicking less valuable, because it would be a drop in the bucket compared to how much product skeletons I don't know why I did that. Product skeletons are moving. Aren't all video games just shift clicking items? No, some you're pressing WASD and shift clicking items. I think the scale thing would probably help. Yeah. Would also potentially help address how the micromanaging isn't as fun. Although we got to be careful about how we do some of this stuff. And we got to consider the performance of the game. Okay. So this should go into the meta progression thing. Perk idea, oldest item in your warehouse is sold every X seconds. I'm deleting this. Perhaps early game should have a bunch of, or have ways of getting a bunch of items. Could be an early perk saying get 5 very heavy armors. This is where meta progression can come in. I'm going to just put that up there too. And then play a special sound effect when a twist is presented to you. Is this easy to do? Because if it is, then we should probably just do it. But I don't think there's an easy way of doing this. Because we have some like update town tracker update. Something here. I could have sworn there was something called update from perk choices. Yeah, there it is. Why didn't I see this in here? Oh, it's in the base class. Okay. Yeah, so this is called anytime you choose or buy a perk here. Let's just try this out. Yeah, why not? Let's just do town.playSound. Just anything that's going to be obvious. Sound ID dot fireball. How's that? So every time you get a twist, every time you get a perk, we're going to play a fireball sound. I just want to make sure it only plays it when you actually get a perk. No, this won't work. What am I doing? We need to make sure you actually have choices before we do that. If perk choice tracker dot has deferred choices. What does has available perks mean? Cash value indicating what? Oh, that's, I see. Okay. So I hope this only plays once. Like you click buy and it plays. Yeah, that's how it should work. We turn on the sound. Go to this, click buy. We should hear a fireball. Yeah. And I click choose and we should not hear it. Good. Click buy. We hear it. If I go back to this, if I buy something else, okay, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad. Because it's updating the choices. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to only call this when you got choices. Which is not what we're doing now. Where is that called from? It's only from init. That's not possible. Re-roll. I'm missing something here. Ah, here it is. Town perk choices changed, which is done when chose any perk. Update choice descriptions. Update descriptions. That's bizarre. What is causing that to happen? I guess let's just put a breakpoint on the fireball. I purposely made it so that when you get any building or whatever, it can update the descriptions, but it shouldn't be doing... It shouldn't be playing this sound when you get a building. Yeah, so why is that happening? On build, change the build panel, update from perk choices. What does that do? Oh, whoops. I put this... Oh, okay. My bad. I put this in the wrong file. Whoopsie. So this should have only been in the choose town perks. And there should be an update from perk choices here. So this should just be virtual. And then we override it here. Public override update from perk choices. So we definitely want to call the base. And then we want to do this. And I guess get the sound ID in here. All right, let's try that. Because yeah, if it's this simple, then we might as well just add this. I think it'll be a nice touch. Let's try it. So we hear the sound. Now we buy this. No sound. Now we buy this. And then this. Wait for that to stop playing. Okay, now what happens when we choose these things? Good. 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 Yeah, cool. Okay, so then we just need to find a suitable sound effect, and this needs to be when we're showing trade-off. Works. Perfect. Let's go find a sound. So give me one sec. All right, so we only have like 700 sound files to look through. All right, let's listen to some of them. It could be anything. It's actually not bad. Okay, those aren't good. Okay, so this is, at least of the very few I've listened to so far, this is a decent potential one. Those won't work. I don't think it should sound like water anyway. I don't know if we should listen for any of those. What do we have here? No. Fireball, fire beam. It could play something like that. I think it sounds like something bad happened, though. That could work, too. I kind of like that. Okay, that's pretty decent. Let's put that one on top. I don't think any of those are going to be good. Maybe evade. No. Yeah. None of these. That's short. Hmm. Whip whoosh. Some UI sounds. I'm using a lot of these already. No. All right. I think we should probably use the one that I already found because I don't know if we're going to find anything else that's good here. Puzzle mini game. Puzzle solved. Imagine that plays every time you get a twist. Actually, it's not too bad. Oh, man. We should probably just try a few of them and see what they sound like in context. But yeah, sure, I'll copy that. Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay, that might be the thing we use. Yeah, that's it. That's definitely it. Now let's make sure we don't already use that. Small secret. So we don't. So let's go to sound ID and say something like twist presented. And then this is going to be a UI sound. So we can put this here. And then we want to copy this to the right location. All right, so put this in Skeleseller, game, assets, sounds. Where did sounds go? Where's sounds? Audio. Oh, it's not called sounds until you get in the audio folder. Okay, so I want it to be in here. All right, so now we open up Godot, and we click over here, and we go to Sounds, UI, and then Small Secret. We need to be capitalized exactly like that. Yep. Is UI sound true? And then instead of playing Fireball, I don't even know where that went. Oh, it's Fireball Cast. Yeah, here. We changed it to Twist Presented. Okay. Let's see if that feels good. So you get 4 perks and then a twist. Okay, that did sound good, but it's very quiet. So we need to raise the volume of this by like a factor of 2 probably. Yeah. I haven't heard people talk too much about the sound effects of the game. They talked more about the music of the game. To be fair, I think music is more easily accessible for people to enjoy than just sound effects. Sound effects are the kind of thing that you expect to be done well, but you're not really going to pay very close attention to. Unless it's like voice lines or something. Okay, so. Why is it so quiet? I set the volume to 2. What if we set it to 5? Oh, I'm changing Fireball. Oh, whoops. That's why. Might help if I change the right thing. Yeah, whoops. This is supposed to be volume 2 here. Or did I turn down UI sounds? No, they're turned up. Okay. What's turned down there? Battle sounds? Yeah, that's fine. Probably means they're good. Yeah. I don't think there's... I'm not even going to change them even if they weren't that great because I'm not going to spend the time overhauling every single sound in the game. Okay, we just got to keep doing this. Yeah, I like that. Maybe even a touch louder. Let's try 3. And let's also change the dot contains this. Yeah, let's change this to be at, let's say, 0 perks, and then at 4 perks. That way I don't need to click 5 times to do this. I need to click once. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, that was the right volume level, I think. Alright, so now I click this again. Yeah, nice. Nice! Yeah, this is another minor thing that popped in my head as I was thinking about the game. No one asked for this. Any unusual things here? Nope. Okay. Play sound when, play special sound effect when twist is presented. Yeah, there. Wait, why did... Oh, that had to change because of... Yeah. Okay. All right, this is me being negative mostly. I still feel like challenge mode is missing something and it would take another 2 months to figure out. Well, that's not negative. Runs I do are fun, but they feel sort of samey. Maybe it doesn't matter since they're fun. Maybe it should be about breaking the game in entirely new ways. Yes, maybe it should be past Adam. Maybe you were onto something. Yeah. Are parties interesting to form? I also sort of wonder whether I'm getting the wrong read. Maybe it is only fun for me because Skeleseller is fun, so anything that gives me more game is good. Okay, so let's just delete this stuff. This whole party's interesting to form question. Oh, man. The more... I made a video on this a while ago. Automated game design. And again, I'll link this in. I'll give my little blurb about this so you don't have to watch this stupidly long video. Well, let me summarize this stuff. So, automated game design. If you're making a manually played game, then you need it to be fun to manually play the game, obviously. So when you have a game like an action platformer, you are jumping, there's some precision, you're dodging, you're maybe throwing fireballs or something. When all that's automated for you, you're just watching that stuff play out. So there's this concept that I keep talking about of good enough, where you get your automation to a point where, yeah, it's working, it's doing something, it's maybe not the best. I'll load up the game as a visual example of this. Okay, so example. We send this character to do battle. And they win in 12.4 seconds. Now we hire another adventurer and we send, I don't know, this character to do battle. And they win in 12.6 seconds. So we had 12.4 seconds and we had 12.6 seconds. In either case, the variance is minor, right? They're practically the same number. In fact, as a human, if I asked you to time both of these, you'd probably think that they're the same time. But if we ran like 1 million of these trials, that time starts to add up a lot. And now that 0.2 seconds is going to be a significant enough amount of time where you're like, oh, I could have done a lot more battles or something like that. You are not incentivized to do this because you're not going to play 1 million battles. Where you are incentivized is when you have like a 30-second difference versus a 2-second difference. Or sorry, a 30-second battle versus a 2-second battle. So if these were your durations that you had, you'd be like, oh man, I could be 15 times better by getting a 2-second long battle. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. This is what I call the difference between the floor and the ceiling in terms of just efficiency. And you're incentivized to optimize this when it's a massive difference. So if, let's say, the whole like you can be 10% better at something in your life, some people are just naturally inclined to get as good as they can at something, or they want to optimize. They're just sort of natural optimizers. And when you hear this about you can be 10% better at jogging or at tennis or at game development, yeah, some people will be like, I want to do that. How do I do that? But when I say you can be 1,000% better at something, most people are like, oh, okay, I guess I'll try to get at least some of those rewards. Yeah, maybe I can be twice as good. Maybe that's pretty easy to do. So the problem with Skeleseller right now is that battles are always in the background because of the good enough aspect. So if we wanted to change that, we need a few things. We need the tools to improve it. So like skill point reallocation or something like that. Party composition. You need feedback to know that your changes worked. And we need an incentive for you to do any of this stuff. Make battles like 50 times longer. This is a bad idea, but that's how we would do that. So right now, there is no major incentive for you to improve this stuff. There are small incentives. It's like tiny bits of friction, but it's not a lot. And challenge mode exacerbates this by having an overall time limit. So when you have 35 minutes to beat a game, you can't spend 3 minutes experimenting, or else there goes 9% of your run. So instead, you've got to know what works from your meta knowledge and then just use that meta knowledge. So now what does it come to? How does that affect something like party composition? It's like, well, if your rogue and your archer and your mage are doing well, and your golem and your cleric are not doing so well, you're probably just going to send them to a different location instead of trying to revamp your parties. And part of me was asking, is this a problem? Like, should your party composition be the most interesting thing you're doing? Should you optimize this? How would we even do that if we wanted you to do it? And like, what would we change about this? And I think this is just a fact of the game. Like, for most players, battles will fall into the background. And I think that's it. That's inclusion so far. Battles will always fade into the background. So there's not much we can do about this. The game should still be fun, but we don't need to try to extract that fun from battles more than we already are. That's, I think, what my conclusion is, but I struggle with this every once in a while. Like, if you wanted battles to be prominent, you need there to be interactivity in the battles. Interactivity. Or deeper strategy, I guess. And I'm not sure either one of those things would be fun. This is already a game where you're doing like a million different things. And especially in regular mode, it's like you have a battle running here. This is going to take about 12 seconds. While that's running, maybe you're like, I'm going to go harvest my crops. So you click these things. And like just the fact of clicking that took your attention away from this for a bit. It caused you to spend maybe 2 seconds. I mean, I had a perk that made me harvest faster, but maybe I clicked 25 things in that time. And then before I know it, 2 battles have already run over here. I'm getting more items. You'd have to make spells more impactful in the actual battle, for example, which is a classic idle battle game thing. When you say spells, what do you mean? Are you talking about like enchanter spells or the abilities that characters use in battle? Because this is kind of what I was talking about when I say deeper strategy. Like one way of doing this, and I don't think this is fun, but let's say we added in like fire damage and fire resistance, and then same thing, I guess, like lightning damage and lightning resistance or ice or something. So now you could be like, oh, the mage does fire damage, so I should put them into a place that's got fire weak enemies. And it's like, all right, I guess the strategy is a little bit deeper, but what did it cause in terms of changes? It's making you pick different locations. So do we need just, I don't know, more locations? I mean, things that player triggers, yes, which in your world is a spell from the enchanter currently. Yeah, so that then you're talking about this part, interactivity. So something that we could do is we could, and I've tried this a bit in the past, we could put a button in battle that says something like use special ability. I don't know, or buttons in battle. But like, what's the strategy there? Are you just clicking whenever you can? Are you waiting for some event? And if would you even notice that event once 3 battles are going on, customers are going nuts, You're getting perks, etc. Main thing is optimizing your composition, which you can't really rely on random cast synergies. Yeah, so anyway, my conclusion is still the same, by the way. It sounds like I'm exploring this as though I'm coming to a different conclusion, but it's the same conclusion, which is I don't think either of these benefit the game. I think if you add interactivity to the battles, that all you're going to do is make it just be another button that people have to click, which could be a thing. That is, it's okay if we have auto repeat, flee, and then a like make character do more damage button. And every time you click this, the rogue does a crit. Like that's how some games treat this. It's just a clicker game, basically. And then at some point you just don't click that button anymore because you're like, well, I have too many other actions that are more important than that. Usually lets you get over some progression blocks faster if you actively participate. For example, I notice you often need to level up more after beating a boss. Having something like that might allow you to clear the next stage a bit earlier than you'd be able to passively. Yeah, so for the base game, the active participation I'm expecting is for people to realize what bottlenecks are. That's what I kind of consider Skeleseller. Base mode is about identifying bottlenecks. And I think that challenge mode is about making lemonade from lemons. You are getting a bunch of random choices and you need to figure out how do I make the best of these choices? Or what other things should I steer toward? Maybe it'd be interesting if you can customize their positioning. Maybe certain tiles have buffs or effects on why you'd want to play certain characters, or maybe it contributes toward how things attack. So something that I guess technically is already in the game right now is you can control the positioning of adventurers in battles. It just doesn't have any effect. So if I put the rogue in first and then the archer, then we will see them positioned like this, archer on top. But if I did it the other way around, so archer and then rogue, now it should be rogue on top. Yeah. And this has no impact, but we could have this, we could have this be an impact, I guess. Like maybe you could drag an adventurer in battle. But this still gets me back to the same conclusion, which is it fun? Is it something you would do after a certain amount of time? Like when you have this battle window tiny, is it apparent what's happening? Are the enemies in the same positions every time? So positioning your characters is like a one-time thing? Or is there some like obvious strategy? Are we doing this to just add some micromanagement? So as a really simple example, let's say the column that your adventurers let's say the column that a character is in dictates like power versus dodge. So back row is more dodge, less power. Front row is more power, less dodge. So maybe when you're starting out in a tougher location, you're like, I need to focus on my defensiveness. And then as you get stronger, so now survivability is not a problem. You just focus on more power. Like let's say that was the only thing you did. Is that on its own even an interesting or fun decision? Especially when combined with the like 7 other ways that battles get determined. Your party composition, your skills that you have. Hey, Pika. How about chaos as a resource gets consumed to cause some chaos? What does causing chaos mean in this case? By the way, again, I feel like it's worth reiterating. My conclusion is the same. I still think there's no reason to change battles. It's just, they're just a thing. They just happen. It's like in a fishing game, like casting out a line. Is the casting part fun? Like you cast out your line and now it's in the water. And the way they kind of try to make it fun sometimes is you can control the distance that it goes. That's it though. That's all you do when you cast out a line. Distance and direction, right? And that's all the physics is of this anyway. It's just where do you want the line to end up? So I don't think this part is interesting, but it's like, well, that's part of fishing. So you're just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing that. And maybe you try to make a little mini game out of it or something. Like Stardew had a like a power of the cast. So it was just a meter that looked like this, and it would just fill up, and you tried to time it with it being at the end because you could catch better fish farther away from the dock. And that was it. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, that was a thing. This was never the focus of the game. No one's like, I'm playing this for that 1 meter. I just love casting out the line. It's just a thing that happens. So I think it's the thing that happens here too, where it's like we have battles. They they're they're just like casting out a line though. They're a way of you getting loot. And it's kind of weird because in a lot of games, battling is the focus. Like you are manually playing the game. You're casting a fireball, you're dodging, you're then drinking a health potion and equipping the right items. Needs to be able to see something and respond quickly with a click. Yeah. Yeah, so in a game that already has so much clicking, I'm not sure that more clicking is going to be good for it, especially when a lot of this is based on automation. There are things where if you don't respond quickly, then you're kind of just wasting effort. So like here, I have crops that are ready to be harvested. I'm not losing something by leaving them. They're not going to rot. But by not clicking them, I'm not getting the benefit. And then I'm not reaping the benefits from those benefits. And there's not that like curve effect that happens afterward. So this style of needing to click stuff in a certain amount of time is a style that I think is fitting for the game. But like a quick time event, I don't think would be fitting. And I also think what it would turn the game into is any battles you have running. So like I have a battle here, and I have a battle here, and I have a battle here. You would now need to keep in like an accessible enough spot on the screen so that if a quick time event did show up and you're like, oh my God, save this character, click, now click over here, now click over here. Like you'd need to have all these be visible. You have a link to a video explaining the game. I have a link to the demo. You can try it out if you want. I think that's the quickest way to sort of understand what's going on and how you play. But what we're talking about specifically is actually a mode that's not in the demo, which is challenge mode, but it's based on enough of the rules of the base game. So, what was the point of all this stuff? Are parties interesting to form? I don't think they are that interesting. So I think I kind of want to just keep an eye on this. Yeah. But I want to write this conclusion somewhere. Do we have battles written down? Battle map, building. We don't have battles themselves written down. I think I'm going to write this somewhere. Over the course of Skeleseller, I spent a lot of time thinking about battles and automation. The conclusions I keep coming back to are that battles just need to be interesting enough. I don't think we need to add interactivity or increase the depth of the battle system. And I don't think those things would be fun. As a result, choosing battle perks isn't super satisfying because of how many layers of abstraction are between the stats and the outcome of the fight. Still voting for achievements and special challenges other than money. If you had the goal heal X amount at once per battle, then forming battle parties would become more interesting. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I think part of the issue, so achievements can be a thing, and I don't think that has to take away from anything else that we're doing. So like there could always be an achievement saying heal 5,000 life at once, or yeah, reach 5 million total healing dealt. These things are fine, and these can be there whether or not they're fun, because players can just decide, do I want to tackle this, or does this automatically happen at some point anyway? So I think that's okay. But I think if what you're talking about is we change the challenge mode objective, which is what it sounded like it was. So right now it's like get 7,500 gold, and we change it to something like heal 1,000 life. The thing is, we need for there to be a way for you to accomplish this, and at least in the case of healing, there are only 3 heals in the game right now. I guess technically four if you count them, but it's like, okay, the clerics heal. Um, the paladin, I don't really need to write all these out. The spirit callers, fairy spirit, and I guess you could kind of say witch doctors, vampiric bite. And that's kind of it. So it's like your tools for accomplishing this are very little, and then they're divorced from the rest of the game. It's like I have no reason to sell items if my cleric is already healing enough. So I just wouldn't engage with the game anymore. So I'm not sure what would work. Could be an additional objective for the extra hard modes, maybe. It's got to be something you wouldn't accidentally accomplish though. And then I think what's worth considering when it comes to game design is what are we trying to get the player to do? And then what's the best way of getting them to do that? As an example here, we could make an objective that says heal 1000 life. And what is this trying to get them to do? It's trying to get them to change their gameplay to prioritize healing when otherwise it may not have been notable. There might be another way to prioritize healing without explicitly saying heal 1000 life. For example, it might be something like survive a battle, or like survive an endless battle for at least 1 minute or something like that. So there are multiple ways of accomplishing this, but healing is probably necessary. It just doesn't have to be necessary. Whereas with this objective, you make healing necessary. So they're like slightly different formulations of the same sort of thing. So I think the overall question is, what do we get by modulating the objective? And I think part of the answer is different play styles, which if that's the main goal, this is where specializations came in and where like the randomness of the runs come in. And probably we need to do maybe a little bit more there too. Achievements might also kind of accomplish this to some extent. What else do we get is maybe, I guess sort of, this is kind of related to different play styles, but different challenges. But I think they're hand in hand. Anyway, I don't have any concrete conclusions from this particular thing. When I tried designing different objectives originally, the reason why I didn't go for it, by the way, that's another thing to consider, is what's the cognitive load of anything added to the game, or anything added or changed. And if we had different objectives, then you would have to know at any given point what is your objective, which is another thing that I was concerned might be a little difficult for players. Like, oh, in pirate mode, I'm actually not aiming for money. So you start a pirate run and you're like, oh, you just need to open treasure chests. And maybe some players don't realize that. Hang on one second, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. Not envious of these problems. By the way, every time you talk about steering players' gameplay and tasks, you can only think of the meme, you guessed it, goes in the square hole. So it would offer replayability and take away from the max the rogue and mage strategy. Yeah, so if those are the goals, replayability and like shy away from maxing particular adventurers, we have to ask that question of this. What's the best way of getting them to do that? And I think, for example, one solution for the adventurer problem is just buff all of the other adventurers. And one solution for replayability could be meta progression, which I think we're going to do, by the way. So imagine that you beat one run and you get like 5 meta points. I don't know, let's call them like, say 5 stars. And then you beat another run and you get 3 stars. And then for 8 stars, you can start a run with an extra 2 workers or something. I'm painting a very simplistic system here, but this is kind of interesting, right? It's like, oh, hey, this is a leg up, and it's going to change how I play, and it's going to encourage me to just keep playing so that I can get all of the upgrades that are there. So, whoops, just knocked my microphone halfway around. This used to balance when it was on the other side of my desk, And now it seems harder to balance. I want to write this down. I think the main goal of meta progression should actually be replayability, not a change in difficulty. In other words, having an Uber progress bar is nice because it feels like each run is still working towards something. You going for 2.5 hours straight? Yeah, I should probably take a break. Audio's unbalanced. Is it actually bad? Because I do have the microphone lower than I normally have it too. I could raise this. Well, and the problem is this thing gets in the way of my vision. But yeah, I could have done this the whole time. Anyway, I should take a break as Athletics is mentioning. Probably thinking about it too much, but it sounds different. Let me see if I can turn this so I can lower. Okay. Yeah, that should be better. And now it's not blocking my vision as much. Part of the issue is now that this is on the left side, I move it when I'm not streaming, because I don't need to use the mic. And then I have to move it back. Whereas when I was on the right side, it wasn't blocking me as much. So I just never moved it. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. Is it jump time? Computer, is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, it finally answered me. Yeah, so for those who haven't seen this, you can type join in Twitch chat. No need for an exclamation mark. And then J and a number, and you can jump. You try to make your way up to the top. You can see some examples here. So like J30 moves that way. So don't type J90. It's pointless. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, hello again, everybody. See if I missed anything in chat. Okay, yeah. All right. Hey, Farles Barkley. A bit quiet. So, for example, this music becomes pretty loud. Mic is also not compressed, so talking softly or loudly changes the volume. It should be compressed. Do I have that off? No, it has a compressor on it, yeah. But yeah, I really should have like listened to this again after moving this to the other side of the desk. Let me try this too. Okay, close the game. Chat badge to help identify chatbots that are present. Okay, I should probably do this. No, it's actually right. I think this is a touch louder than normal. Like I should probably lower this a bit. Yeah. Anyway, we can add chat. Actually, I don't need this to be something that we do. Add bot badge. Okay, so where do we leave off? Oh yeah, I was talking about game design. Is there anything else I want to do? I think I want to publish the game right now. Or maybe add like one more perk. Are any of these something super fast to add? Remove plus X% healing from the game. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. What do I use to create sprites? I don't create sprites. I'm not an artist, so I don't have a compelling answer to that. If I were to, I'd probably use a sprite. This program. Like if I ever got into drawing or animating. But I'd probably be really bad at this. You need to use their new APIs. Oh, well, I'm just going to delete this. It's not that important anyway, I guess. I don't think there's a lot of confusion in here. Might be something for like Nightbot, maybe. All right, what was I going to do? I was going to remove healing received. Okay, yeah, so let's go to battle perk ID and remove healing received and then lower all of these by 1. -1. Hey, Luke. Curious about the stream, so I downloaded the demo. Find it really entertaining. Nice. I'm glad. Yeah. If you wanna keep playing beyond the demo, I am looking for playtesters for challenge mode, which is what I'll be pushing an update to pretty soon. Oh, wait a second. I probably need to publish a demo too. All right, anyway, that was healing received. Let's go and fix the build issues that result from this. What time is it? It's 11:23. Yeah, I could probably maybe do one other thing beyond this. Maybe. I don't know. All right, so this is no longer there as a defensive perk. This doesn't need to exist at all, I guess. That's kind of sad. Should I leave this there for a tank or something? Even the paladin? No, I think we just get rid of it. Yeah, I just delete it completely. Goodbye, code. Goodbye. Healing received. Now let's just try running it again. And then the last thing I need to do is delete it from the UI as well, which should be this, I hope. Yes, it is. Healing received, healing received. Here, we delete it from the adventure panel tab. Delete. Adventure panel tab. Character healing received. Delete that. Healing received. All right, so get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And that should be everything. This should build again. It did build. So now we have just 4 complex stats. Dodge, haste, lifesteal, return damage. And when we get battle perks, they should not offer healing received anymore. So let's look at these and just kind of compare. Health is always going to be there. Then there's going to be 2 offensive perks. And then 1 defensive one. And there are only 3 defensive options now. Dodge, lifesteal, and I guess fortitude. Yeah, fortitude. Yeah, yeah, that's it. So this is technically probably a buff for all of the characters. Because it used to be that there was fortitude, dodge, lifesteal, and healing received. And now we've axed this. So that means that instead of a 1 out of 4 chance to get a good stat, it's now a 1 out of 3 chance. So we went from 25% to 33%. And that extra 8 percentage points means more often you're getting a good stat. So yeah, healing received in fringe cases was probably a better stat. But the odds of that being the case for your particular party was probably going to be slim. So yeah, we just removed this from the game. It's like it never existed. I always find these changes sad. This code was working. It did exactly what we needed it to do. It just wasn't very fun. So we delete it. Remove plus X% healing received. There just aren't that many cases where this was impactful. There are only a few sources of healing in the game right now. So it's kind of a wasted stat most of the time. Okay, that's done. That's done. Okay, is there anything else here that's pretty quick to do? Some of the balancing could work. Cloning can grant another worker. I'm not sure how interesting this is, but we can set the max. Let's just set the max level to 5 for now. I know that I said the final level could give even more workers, but to do that would mean we need to change number of workers per level. I guess it's not that hard to do, is it? No, it is technically hard to do because then we need it. Well, no, it's not that hard to do. All right, fine, let's do it. Okay, let's go look at warehouse storage. Warehouse storage. And this is a formula. Is there anything that has a list of integers in here? I'm just hoping to copy paste the line of code. I should just write it out myself at this point. But I need to change how we form this. Yeah, fine. So public read only list int num workers. So it's going to be 0. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah, I guess so. So now this is numWorkers.count -1. Field initializer cannot reference non-static. And then delete this. And then the only other thing we need to do is when you get this ability, we can't just assume that you got 1 worker. You will now get some number of workers. It's not create worker. It's for int I equals 0. I is less than. It's actually the difference. So it's like how many do you get for just this level? Which we should defer to the. We should just have this thing do it. Public static void create workers. Town. And then pass in. I guess it doesn't even need to pass that in, huh? It could pass in the level of the ability, int level. Okay, so what do we do for this? We need to get. Yeah, that. Okay. Now for this, we want to get the number of workers for just that particular level. So if ability level is less than 1, then return. Actually, I like writing as less than or equal to 0. And then int num workers for just this level. Or like, what do you call that? A marginal num worker? Probably. All right, so wait, and ours is filling in. Nice. And then go to that and create. Cool. All right, that should do it. Let's go test that out. What's the problem here? This is supposed to be this. And let's change the town perk generator so that it's always giving us cloning. There's cloning. So cut out every other perk that exists. And let's try it. Okay, what am I doing? I'm clicking this. All right, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So right now I have 0. There's just my main guy. But I'm going to click this and it should give us 1. Good. Click it again, it gives us 1 more. Good. And you know the drill, I got to click it a bunch of more times. So 1 more time, we should have 4 total now. Now we're going to get a twist. No, we're going to get this. So now we have 5 total. And then the twist, which actually we could pick this one, worker strike. So now we have just the 1 worker again. And then we get the final level of this and it gives us 3 more workers. Yeah, nice. So I wonder if it's best to write it that way. Like we write it as level 0 gives you 0, level 1 gives you 1, level 2 gives you a total of 2, and so on and so forth. Or if it's better to write it like this, where each level is just the difference in number. So this is how many will join you at any given time. Extra workers. No, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. So revert all of that. Okay, so now we change the number per level. That should be like so. Okay, cool. Add 1 more level of cloning. The final level grants +3 workers instead of +1. Swift shoes make it grow non-linearly. I'm tempted to change the max level to give greater than 100%. All right, where is this? Worker speed. It's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Oh, man. I'm not going to change this. I don't think this is impactful enough to do. But Entropic Magic having another level, so that it could get to 80%, then you're pretty much always casting lots of spells. I'm going to hold off on this one too. It's just not a super compelling change. It's not that it's hard to do. Have summons inherit special stats. Limited options. You're only offered 2 town perks at a time. This one is pretty powerful as a drawback. This should probably only show up for twist number 2 or number 3. Also very similar to dud perks in that it ruins your pool, but in a way that you can't really move past. Hence why its power should be limited to later in the run. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I think we go publish a new version now. Yeah, I think we go publish a new version. What have I done this morning? Let's go find out. This is a good fix. Graphical tearing, that's really important. Always show instant rewards. Improve guild supply section? Oh, yeah. That was the UI. Force first adventure to DPS. Nerf that. Friendly guild supply. Wording. Play special sound effect. That's pretty nice too. Yeah, all this is pretty good. It's a nice change. All right, so improve challenge mode further. Read the commit messages. All right, let's go merge that. Then we'll pull the changes in. What? What? Switch to main. Your branch is ahead of main by 1 commit? How's that possible? Fix descriptions. What is this doing here? Fix critical bug. Fix weapon shop collision shape. That made it in. That got tagged as well. What did I do? All right, let's just pull. Let's not rebase. It shouldn't even be a merge conflict. I'm very confused. I don't understand what happened here. Also, it should have closed one of these issues, right? I don't have it open anymore. I'm confused. All right, well, let's merge. Wait a second. Am I on the wrong branch? No, I'm not on the wrong branch. We need to close this. Cannot read merge. No such file or directory. It got deleted? Doesn't that mean that it didn't actually merge? Already up to date? All right, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I did. So let's just sync this and go take a look on GitHub. Yeah, I'd like to see what this actually changed, though. Because it looks like there are modified files, but that would imply that it never got my PR. At which point, what did I do? Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. Well, let's try running the game. Definitely don't want to publish something that's going to be broken. So let's go into here. Reload. Just reload the whole project. Don't save. Yeah, my scene will be gone. Goodbye, scene. Close out of that. Cannot open delete me. I don't know why I even tried opening it. Okay, so if it builds, if it runs, I think we're probably good. What's a quick way we can test? I guess just by looking in guild supplies. Yeah. Okay, looks fine to me. For VCS visible branch pads, I think you can set that up, and I just never looked at them, so I turned it off. Yeah. All right. If I'm not mistaken, those panels that we have would have affected the demo as well. So anyone might have gotten tearing for that. So let's go publish 2 different versions here. I don't think we can do this concurrently. So I'm going to publish the demo first, because that affects everybody. 087. And let's go figure out what the patch notes are for the demo. I think they should be pretty simple. Because where was the last demo change? Can we look at tags? Tags. Demo. What day were you? August 28th. So yesterday. Fixed critical bug. Okay, so fixed critical bug is where we last were at. And since then, it's been this, which doesn't impact the demo. This, which doesn't impact the demo. And then this, which had 1 change that impacts it. The graphical tearing, I think. All right, so fix graphical tearing. Anything else? And change wording of hardworking adventurers to make it clearer how it works for new players. And that's it. Those are the only 2 things we did. All right, well, let's publish that as patch notes. Patch notes. Steam. Where's the instructions print at the end of this, but I always want them before the end of this. Where do we find the patch notes thing? Upload to Steam. Output instructions. Here it is. Post on Steam. Got it. Oh, well, there we go. Do you want to upload to Steam? Yes. All right. Is this loading? It is not loading. Why is it not loading? Why is this page not loading? Oh, this is strange. On the right account, right? Yeah. Because of these? Oh, interesting. Okay, minor update. And how do we edit this? Edit. All right, fixed some. This is going to be 087. And it's just these two things that we did. Do you want to upload to itch? Yes. Fixed a bug with graphical tearing in some of the UI. Well, hopefully fixed a bug. I'm not actually even sure that we did that. And changed wording. Just some minor fixes for today. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't think we need anything else there. So save that, and now we got to go publish. So I copy this, and then while that's publishing, we want to publish the playtest version as well. For that, we need different patch notes. This was what, 087? 087, yeah. Set build live, fix this problem, and then rerun. Set live, yes. Sorry, I got to do all this stuff. And then confirmations, done. Okay, cool. So we can publish that event and we can get the playtest version kicked off. 0911. Hey, Scoreline, it's going pretty well. We just pushed a new demo version, and now I can publish this event. I did not mean to click that. I meant to click this. Publish. All right, so that should be on Steam. The demo should be on Steam. And now we got to get the patch notes for the playtest version. Okay, so this is 11. This is, that published, right? Publicly visible. Let me just make sure. Community Hub News. Yeah. All right, so copy this. All right, major changes. These are different patch notes because this affects everything. So what do we do here? Minor changes, fixed the mixed up. Wait, didn't I do, what was the critical bug? That I pushed. That was for the demo. Okay, so fixed the mixed up specialization descriptions for chaos, pirate, and fishing. Okay. Major changes, hopefully fixed an issue with graphical tearing in the UI. It was very prominent. You want to upload to Steam? Yes. All right, what else do we do? Then all of this stuff. Yeah, so just copy paste all of this. Oh, I see. The mix-up specializations made it into main and into challenge mode. I see how that happened. Yeah. Okay, so this I can go make live. Copy this. Make this live. Done. Set live. Okay, playtest version is now live. We just need the patch notes. I guess get rid of this. Whoops. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Improve guild supply section. Yeah, that's for this. The guild supply section in the adventurers tab will now show you the total bonuses that you get. Should I just take a picture of that? I mean, I should, but you should have some bonuses for me to show it nicely. That'll do it. All right, were any of those for the rogue? No, but we'll just get the adventures it was for, like the archer. There we go. Whoops. Oh, Horses Running Game is serious. Yeah, it's cool when they have a lot of stuff to do too. Like if I have them open up all these treasure chests. Okay. See attached picture. So I got to go make a post on Discord and include the picture. That is done. All right, guild supply section finished. You now start each challenge mode run with either the rogue, mage, or archer. This should smooth out some of the differences from getting a bad adventurer. This is probably pretty minor. Delete all that stuff. This is nerf-free treasure chests. It used to, I could just copy paste this. There. Prevent the garbage slime from eating guild supplies from the warehouse. When you have the, which is an ability granted from a twist. Cool. This isn't worth writing. Added a sound effect when you're presented with a twist. This is, I'm gonna write this as a major change. Removed this plus X% healing received from battle perks. This should be an overall buff because it means the other 3 defensive perks plus dodge plus fortitude, and what's the last one? Plus lifesteal will show up more frequently. There just isn't that much healing in the game. And add 1 more level of cloning. It gives +3 workers rather than the +1 that each prior level gives. Okay, there are patch notes. Let's go write them on Discord. Make sure this gets tagged. And keep on playing challenge mode to see if the general fun level is improving. Question, what is the biggest change you'd want to see? No one's probably gonna read that question, but that's fine. And everyone is always welcome to share that anyway. Someone joined. I'm assuming it's the person who sent me a message, which I have not looked at yet. I won't read that on stream, but I will try to take a look today. Okay, so we now have, I just put a G somewhere. We now have the new versions online. I really, really hope that fixes the tearing problem. And time-wise, it is almost noon. So here's what I think I should do. Let's fill out the journal. I think this afternoon is going to be entirely focused on game design. And I think the big question is going to be, should we do meta progression? And if so, how should it manifest? And I'm leaning toward, leaning toward yes, and I don't know. But yeah, I think we probably should do meta progression. I think it'd be fun for players. And I think if I haven't written this down already, I think this like renews some of the casual air of the game. Yeah, I have that written down. I love meta progression. If you have any ideas for things you want to see, do let me know, because at least I have not concretized any of this, but at least what I'm leaning toward right now is a lot of the stats and perks could be presented as meta progression rewards. So imagine something like start a run with +2 workers, or start a run with adventurers no less than level 1, or start a run with a random building, or like negative twists are less negative. Things like that. That's what I'm thinking, so that it's like it's pretty much just a leg up. And then maybe what we do is we say very hard mode can't use these, but everything else can. So if you want to just have fun, play on anything other than very hard mode. And yeah, you could possibly, by the end of it, you could set all of these things to be true. So you're starting with like half the run already done for you. So that's at least what I'm leaning toward. If that sounds fun right off the bat, then awesome. But if that doesn't sound fun, then yeah, please let me know. And we'll, of course, test it out, right? I'll eventually code this stuff. I'm not sure how will, that's another question I need to answer. How will we do this for playtesters? How will we expose this for playtesters? Should we actually save data or just give them everything? I think the fun of meta progression is the unlocking of it. So we probably should save something. In which case, it's going to take like another week to code. It's probably going to be a week before I even get to that week. So it's going to be like 2 weeks from now. Then who knows what rough edges there will be. So yeah, I think we've got another 2 months of challenge mode work to do. I just don't see any bypassing that. Anyway, wasn't I starting to write something and then I sidetracked myself? Oh, the journal. All right, so spent the morning working on improving challenge mode and improving challenge mode. Spent the afternoon, I know this is predictive, doing game design for how to improve it further. When did I start working on challenge mode? Oh, it's been a month and 6 days. Oh yeah, that's not quite as long as I thought. Man, I really have been grinding away at this though. Oh wait, no, kept designing. That means I started it earlier. Oh, talked about chaos mode. All right, I'll just say talked about challenge mode. We had called it chaos mode back then. So technically it started 2 days earlier. But this was design. Finished treasure chest. Where do we start working on challenge mode? Started working on challenge mode. So technically, yeah, about a month ago. Honestly, I think there has been great progress in that time. This is why I want to take a bit of a break next week, because I've just been going nonstop. Like, for those who only saw the game more than a month and 4 days ago, this button wasn't here. The button itself is very easy to add, but what it represents is very hard to add. So we now have all these different specializations. We have different difficulties. You can start a run, and then this is where the important stuff kicks in, which is there's now an objective. There's a goal that you have to reach and a time limit to reach it in, and all of the random choices that were here. So like the ability to present random choices to you like this was not possible. They then collect up in this screen where you can see what perks you've gotten. There are twists that show up every once in a while. You hire adventurers the same way. We had to change how they level up. We had to add new stats. So yeah, there's been a lot done in that time. And I think it's going in the right direction, but I kind of wonder if it weren't going in the right direction, would we know by now? I think we would. I don't think people would have kept playing. And I think what I've given up is the idea that this will turn into some people play for more than 100 hours. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. All I really want is for the people who spend like $15 to feel like they got their money's worth. I think the game's already fun, so I think adding challenge mode should just be more fun. And I think with meta progression, it'll feel a bit more casual. So I hope we're firing on all cylinders there. I'm already on at least 20 hours. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I also played a bunch of runs yesterday and I was having fun. I think with more perks, it'll feel a little bit more different, because right now I do feel like a lot of the runs are kind of similar. And that's why I still think having Vampire Survivors as the North Star is important. So yeah, it's lunchtime for me. I will get going. I'll be back in about an hour. Give me 1 sec. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll be back in about an hour. The middle of a run when I love meta progression. No, that's totally fine. So thank you all for watching. Again, if you want to join, if you want to help out, the best things you can do are just play the demo. I think that'd be great. Also, another thing that would kind of be nice, and I don't ever really like bringing this up, but whether or not you like the game, leaving a review, I read all of them and I try to take any constructive criticism into account, any negative feedback, basically. Even if someone's like, oh, I hated the game, it's like, I need to analyze why, and I think that would help. And then join the Discord. So I'm going to get going. I will see you all in about an hour. Thank you for being here, and have a good rest of your Friday.